Hello and welcome everyone to our Dungeons of Drakkenheim special campaign with guest DM Josh Henderson and my merry crew of awesome friends. Here we are carrying on. This is episode 3, and I don't want to say too much, but well, at the very least, reintroduce our characters for people who are popping in and what level we are and what we're playing, and give it over to our DM to carry on into the recap. So I am Charm. This is my channel. Welcome. I'm glad you're here. And I am playing Erasmus Saint Wraith, goes by Ghost, and he is the new apothecary class. The mutagenicist is his subclass. I know it's a very sciencey take. I wanted to actually flip it and make it a bit more of a spiritual vibe. And so instead of having elements and powers that come from concoctions, they're going to come from the power of, I guess you could say, a sort of spiritual possession issue. More roleplay potential for me there. But yeah, that's him. He's a young, about 17, with a pet raccoon named Olive, who I totally forgot about the entirety of our last episode, but she was sleeping. That's the canonical reason. Yeah, he's in a place where he's actually interestingly very comfortable and uncomfortable simultaneously for different reasons, and that is a house of faith, which is a pretty interesting vibe. More interesting when you're actually possessed by the unyielding spirit of one such practitioner, but we'll see. And I'm going to pass it over to Laurie to tell us about her character.
Hi guys, I'm Laurie. I am playing, my character is Ryan Deline, and Ryan is a level 3 cosmic warlock of a cosmic patron. That's also one of the specific to Drakkenheim classes. Again, felt like, yeah, let's throw Drakkenheim classes because we're in Drakkenheim. She is the world of Drakkenheim, as we get more and more into it, can feel like things are very much out of an individual's control. Can't control the effects of the delirium, the monsters are here, everything is crazy. So Ryan wants to try to control the things that she can still control. One thing she wants to do is kill monsters. Monsters have had an impact on her family, and she wants to, the best way she can control them is to kill them. And she also wants to maybe exert some level of control by trying to protect people who may be needing to go into Drakkenheim for all the different reasons that people have to go. So she's, you know, life in Drakkenheim and around Drakkenheim has been very difficult for virtually everyone the past 15 years. And now she's here kind of trying to figure out what's next with this merry band of miscreants. No, wrong campaign. Okay, so that's where we are. We're
all campaigns.
I'm like, wrong campaign. Hey, we're not war criminals yet. So that's where we go. That's where we go. I hate that I said yet. That's where we go. Little warlock action going on, and I will kick it over to Isaac.
Yes, I'm playing Phalles the Curious, a esteemed mage of the Amethyst Academy, who's out, accompanying Erasmus Saint Wraith, offering some guidance to just a young man with a bright future.
Just the current winning horse that hasn't been killed yet.
And yes, just learning what I can of the mysteries of Drakkenheim. But yeah, that's me. I am a level 3 wizard. Technically speaking, a malfeasant, but that's truly just a technicality. I don't plan on doing any more of that delirium magic.
We'll have a counter in the top right of the screen of how many times that
Time since last corrupted spell.
Right.
That
would be awesome.
It's just gonna be one little thing, just 0.
Right.
And every once in a while we see a little animated raccoon come across the screen to tear the number back and put it back, and then the raccoon goes back.
I'll see what the editor can do. Yeah.
Awesome. and I am the herder of these glorious cats. I am Josh Henderson. I've been a DM on this channel a couple times. Always happy to be back running some Drakkenheim. This is a super fun universe, super fun people that have, at the end of episode 2, managed to find themselves trapped in literally a stone box with a cursed saint. It is not even, we are not even double digits. We are just right at the top. We're just stuck in like a not solvable situation. So as a reminder, as kind of a recap of what happened, the Intrepid 3 below me decided to make their way to Drakkenheim. Very exciting, kind of first true foray into Drakkenheim. Searched around a bit, got hopelessly lost for a little while there, which ended up proving to be incredibly valuable as they ended up finding a massive shard of delirium, an incredibly valuable find, and were trying to kind of find their way through the city of Drakkenheim. And found their way towards the chapel of St. Brenna. And upon arriving at the chapel, they saw out front a number of raiders, marauders, bandits, whatever you would like to call them, attempted to break down the front door, overheard from the inside conversation, or the conversation was happening amongst them, that they were attempting to grab the scepter that was left in the chapel, and that it would be incredibly valuable. So acting quickly, snuck into the back with the thought that there would be an underground crypt that they could sneak into. Were really intuitive about that. Quickly found the crypt, found a movable rod as well. Very quickly kind of moved down into the crypt. As fast as they could, blockaded the door from the group of bandits attempting to break in the front door, and then found a grouping inside of worshippers inside the chapel to St. Brenna, that were shuffled downstairs, kind of back the way that they had come. They had moved so quickly through the crypts that a lot of the dangers were essentially foregone, and so now going back through are now being faced. Quickly found their way past the mephits, and then found themselves into what actually looks like the crypts themselves, as opposed to the general undercrofts, as it were, of the chapel. They made their way pretty silently through the crypts, found the actual corpse of St. Brenna, using the immovable rod that was used to winch open one of the doors, walked into the crypt, and kind of quickly dispatched, or so they think, the mummy version of St. Brenna, and are now kind of attempting to move forward to hopefully find this scepter. St. Brenna was the saint of like rejuvenation or renewal. Unknown what the scepter does, but is apparently incredibly valuable, and could earn extra points if they were to go back to Emberwood with it, kind of bump up their rating, so you know, as it were, get them cooler and cooler jobs and more reputation to help accomplish their goals within Drakkenheim. So definitely not a bad thing, and incredibly valuable to find themselves in this spot. However, they lowered the stone door behind them in the hopes that the door in front of them would open. It did not, so now they are stuck in this stone crypt, much like St. Brenna herself was, with the almost dead corpse of the mummy of St. Brenna. And that's where we find ourselves. So, what would the three of you like to do now that you are stuck in this place?
As we take a look at the, so there are two big doors that are both closed.
Yes.
Each with inscriptions.
not the one that was open that closed, but the other one.
Uh-huh.
I've got. Okay, so taking a look. Do you guys think there's any way for us to open this manually? I have a crowbar. I'm gonna look around underneath the door, maybe trying to find a way for us to. Is there any way for us to use leverage or strength to get it open?
Looking at the door, yeah, oh man, yeah. Okay, so is there anything else in this room besides that door too? Because the way you described it, I feel like it's immensely heavy.
Yeah, actually, so this has a. Thank you. 2 seconds here.
My hand is starting to spark. Do we need to get blasty? What happened?
It was literally just. I just saw a thing about that. Oof. Okay. Go ahead and roll an investigation check for me.
Okay. That's a 16,
Nice.
19.
19.
19 total.
It is possible. So you're looking at what's essentially the northern door. So kind of the where you're facing. So you came in from the eastern door. You're looking at the northern door. You find a couple different things. You find that this door seems to have no indication that it's been opened anytime soon, or anytime recently. So the door that you've come in, you can kind of see dust settling in different areas. This one doesn't have any of that. So it looks like it hasn't been opened in quite a while. But you infer based off of the door you came in and the door that you're looking at, that it can be lifted or opened, but it would take an incredibly strong person, and it's possible to open it that way. It seems like it would be incredibly difficult, and you're not sure how long it would be able to stay open. If that kind of helps. There doesn't seem to be a way to like sufficiently winch it open. It would have to be like winch it and then grab it and then lift it,
And then immovable rod it.
well, yeah, or you could do that exactly.
If we still had that,
Exactly.
We don't, right?
because that's currently placed firmly upon Saint Brenna.
Right.
Pinning her down for when she inevitably
Right.
wakes up.
So my thought is, yeah, that's true. She wakes up. We gotta just keep that on her.
Well, we don't have to keep it on her. That was a kind of spur of the moment decision. That it'll hopefully keep everybody. We're another room in deeper. We're still in the tomb, right? Okay, so with the 4 sarcophagi and
it's just one. So it's just the like slab.
The
with
slab.
on it.
oh,
Yeah.
just the slab in here.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, the sarcophagi are to the east of you, so the door you came through. That's where
Oh,
all
okay.
those
So,
are. Yeah.
okay. I thought for some reason we moved another room past that. Okay.
No.
So it's just that slab in here. Now you said there was a inscription on the east door. No darkness is eternal while our faith fuels the flame. Does the north door have any kind of inscription?
It does, yes. Let me find both of those because they both have inscriptions. Yeah. So it's the southern door, but it's technically the eastern door. No darkness is eternal while our faith fuels the flame. The one in the north reads, "None are forever lost to shadow. Candlelight glows brightly in the deepest night."
I'm gonna try to actually not to use the voice for my character because my throat is so jacked up. So I'm gonna try to talk normally, but it's in character. There's a lot of spiritual reverence to light of the flame. Perhaps there might be some magical component. I don't know enough about magic, but I know enough about the divine that they have ways to keep people out who don't know the tenets or creeds, dogmas.
Could I investigate the slab underneath Saint Brenna? Like how solid does that seem?
Yeah, go for it. Go ahead and roll an investigation.
Can I? Boy, religion is not much, is it? Can I do a religion check to see if those phrases are standard sacred flame phrases?
Yeah, go for it.
That's a 20 for me.
20 for you. So it honestly just seems kind of like a normal slab of granite, like nothing too fancy. But I will say on a dirty 20, what it does seem like is it seems as though it's more of a ritual slab than just like a resting slab.
Okay.
Like it seems as though should you need to, you could use this as a ritual site.
Right. Could I, really quickly, I'd love to grab the immovable rod, shove Saint Brenna off.
Okay.
And then I'm gonna wipe my hand over the surface, and I'm gonna use mold earth to make a like kind of an image of a candelabra. Like just sort of etch that into the stone.
Okay.
And then Laurie, is it Ryan that has the other scroll of like an eternal flame?
Fairy fire?
No, the other one.
Okay.
Continual flame. I think I have
flame.
that.
Thank you.
Continual flame.
Yeah, and I'm gonna take the immovable rod and put it back on Brent on the floor. Like as he's like obsessing over one thing, I'm like, ah!
Good idea.
Yeah, you just gotta take it out of my hand. I don't notice.
Yeah.
Nice. Yeah, I think if my notes are right, we had 2 scrolls of continual flame. So somebody gives him one. Yes.
Outstanding. So and then I'm going to cast that and kind of ignite the etched candelabra on the slab.
Okay. So you kind of perform that whole magical ritual on there, and you wait expectantly, and nothing seems to happen.
Well, at least it's better lit now.
Can I take torches and can I would have wanted to try this resource to light the flames, light the torches of the continual flames and place them on the missing parts of the wall that are not lit, because there were some that were lit and some that weren't. I want to make them uniformly lit.
Okay. Go ahead and do that, and then roll me you could either be religion or investigation, or religion or insight rather, as you kind of finish.
Okay. Let me look here.
And while this is happening, I'm not in a big hurry to do unnecessary damage here, but at some point we just start trying to break through the doors.
Oh, you rolled a religion check, right?
Uh-huh.
What? What was it?
What? A 12. And all I'm trying to see is because the sacred flame is has been the predominant religion of Drakkenheim. I was a loose follower of the sacred flame, as you know, whatever. It's kind of the religion of the area. So what I'm trying to determine is, are these phrases that are just kind of normal religious phrases, or are they giving us, or is it something that's not kind of that standard? Right. Is it a clue? Is it not a clue? So that's what I'm trying to figure out. It's just normal sacred flame words.
So even on a 12, having lightly practiced it, having grown up in Drakkenheim, it's a pretty low DC, honestly. They're not vague. They're pretty obvious in the sense of they don't seem the pieces to a puzzle that you're trying to solve, but they start to unlock a couple things in your brain. Sacred Flame did a lot of work with holy water, holy oils, Did a lot of work with just flame in general, purifying fire, but wasn't tied to this life so much so as it was very much reverent of how life operated. The affliction that is affecting St. Brenna could be described by some who were outside of the sacred flame as being a result of the rejuvenation renewal that St. Brenna was aiming for. But those within, or those who were practicing in the sacred flame, knew that that is not the desire of St. Brenna. That was whatever affliction she is currently affected with is not of her own doing, and was not placed upon her by herself in some vain attempt to achieve immortality or anything like that. And the purification rituals for anything always in the sacred flame religion itself always involved surrounded by fire, not necessarily catching on fire, because obviously that will kill someone, but surrounded by fire, and always used in some way, some type of holy liquid, oil, water, what have you. And so all these pieces kind of come together in your brain. No darkness eternal while our faith fuels the flame, right? You can't have darkness when you're surrounded by light. None are forever lost to shadow. St. Brenna should not be locked in her eternal suffering as a mummy. Candlelight glows brightly in the deepest night, hence the eternal flames that are glowing in her cavern. So they draw more questions, but they also start to answer a couple things based on your experience with the sacred flame.
Laurie, remember
I just got a 12. I need to answer the DM's call for the roll on that.
What was? Sorry, you were looking.
I was lighting the flames, and you had me do a religion check.
Yes. So was it religion or insight? I guess it would be.
I chose religion because I have a much better plus, and I rolled a. Oh wait, no, hold on. Actually, let me double check what mine would be to see if it makes any difference. Let's see. 14 actually.
14. Okay, cool. So you weren't a practicer of the sacred flame, right? Erasmus was not.
So the school that he was taught under was, and this is like the lore that I read about, was the domain of shadow. Serves sacred flame in a cohesive, non-antagonistic realization that without light, there or shadows and darkness can be non-evil representations of the influence of light. And so that's where he was kind of taught by his godmother.
Okay, so and that makes perfect sense, especially considering what's going on. So you would definitely maybe not come to the exact same conclusions that Ryan would, but it would come to a realization as you light all of the kind of unlit torches in this place, that they, when all lit, are so perfectly placed and so perfectly lined up that it's uncanny. It seems as though they were always meant to be lit this way, whether for ritual purposes, whether for religious purposes, but lighting them gives you a sense of comfort and a sense of alignment in this place.
Everybody, I think I've solved the puzzle. We need to draw straws.
Okay.
Remember the funeral pyre outside.
God. I'm going to help Brenna back onto the slab.
You think that'll count?
And I just kind of go, I feel like she wasn't meant to be this way. I think that... Can you feel it? Can you feel the way the hallowed ground of this place is calling for something? I don't think it's us. I think it had to do with something that was always here. And I look to Brenna, who will always be here.
Oh, yes. That is what I meant. Let's do that instead.
Or and also, and I'm at the door. I'm like starting to the door that hasn't opened. I'm with a crowbar. I'm like, another option is, and I'm looking at him. You guys strong? Should we just try to get out or not yet? And I've got the crowbar, and I'm over here. I'm like
massive, like probably like I don't know, 5,500-pound door, and be like,
this isn't gonna work.
Let's try Erasmus's idea first.
This was created in mind with a way to open the door. It's a spiritual path. We must connect to the intention that was set in the making of this place. We just have to figure out what that intention was. I
don't think she'll catch fire on her own, though. You know, she's pretty wet.
I don't think. I'm conflicted. One part of me knows that we need to do something else. Flames of this body would serve twofold: a form of purification, but also getting rid of the undead.
So we're not gonna get cursed by burning her up. That was my initial thought of like, oh, this is clearly supposed to be like this. We want to mess with it as little as possible. No,
we should draw straws. You're right.
Okay.
No, I'm just kidding. Like, as soon as you mentioned being cursed, Erasmus is like, "Oh, that's a thing."
I was still looking around the room trying to figure out how to get out.
Yeah, I'm a little bit of a novice within the cult of the Sacred Flame. Certainly, I've gone to some services, but very busy. Been very busy through my life. I've never really picked up too much. But there were those funeral pyres outside. I don't know. You'd have a better grasp on this than me. Do you think that they were celebrating her vitality in the murals upstairs? Do you think that they want that this kind of setup is intended to venerate this nasty mummy?
No, she wasn't supposed to be a nasty mummy. That's the important part.
Okay, if she's not supposed to be a nasty mummy, I think at the very least we just get rid of a problem by burning her, right?
I need to.
Now we are in an enclosed space, so that's gonna really cut into our oxygen.
I need to pray. I need to ask.
Okay.
I need to.
God, I'm putting my ear up, hoping that I don't hear anybody coming down, which I probably wouldn't.
Go ahead and roll
not
perception check.
And while she's doing that, I am going to call upon the spirit of High Priestess Lelia.
Okay. Is that a roll you have to make, or is it just an instant connection?
This is flavor. Just as like mechanically, it's a combat thing that I would use, but instead of delving into a combat situation, I kind of just want to see if the echo of her knowledge of this practice could at least enter my mind, knowing that she helps me when I'm in danger. This to me is just a form of danger that hasn't manifested as a blade. It's a slow death in here.
Yeah, no, that makes so much sense. So what's the actual text on just so I understand what it should be saying to you?
So there's no text for this. This is just because we turned the mutagenesis into a thing that is more of a spiritual thing, so it's really up to DM Fiat on having something to communicate with, which otherwise mutagenist would just have like potions. So
we're stuck. Let's get drunk.
At least outside the context of D&D, like I don't know, depending on how, like what kind of flavor you want here. Like in spirit possessions, they're like spirits have difficulty communicating even when they want to, so it if this is something that the spirit might know, but also it's kind of bad gamist tree to like
Right.
just have it say. That would make sense there.
Yeah, I mean, I think in this situation, all of the logic makes sense for it. So while you are praying to get that, Ryan, what was your perception check?
19.
19. And this,
Nice.
which door is this on? The northern
one
door
we-
was the door you're going towards. The eastern
Nope.
door is the door you came from.
Yes. The
So
one that we came
door.
from.
So you say you don't expect to hear anything.
Right.
What you do hear is you hear a lot of yelling, a lot of like clanking, metal on stone, things like that. It seems far off. Obviously, it's a pretty big stone door, but you hear that. You hear some type of yelling or some type of scuffling kind of going on past the door that you had come from.
All right.
It seems to be getting closer, if that helps.
Sure.
So that's kind of
Okay,
where you're
and-
at with that.
Okay, and I'm sharing that information. I know things take time. Ghost, totally respect and appreciate the time you need to take. I can hear them. I think they've come through the front door. And I can hear them coming down. So if there's a way to take less time through this process, I don't think that's a bad idea.
Fabulous. So we've got a rescue coming in the worst case scenario. It might be a murdery rescue, but
It feels like a murdery rescue to me.
oh, it definitely is. But I mean, that's
Yeah.
better than you know what? I think with that, I'm down to risk the I'm down to risk the air. Let's
Let's
start
go.
a fire.
Oh no. Okay, so how did
I
you
pray
leave,
harder?
Yeah. So how did you leave Saint Brenna
I'm
on
praying.
the slab? So you put Saint Brenna back on the slab, yes?
I put her back on the slab.
Okay.
Yep.
And had you extinguished the continual flame on the slab?
No, I kept that.
The continual flame on the slab has no heat though.
Okay, perfect. Okay, so she's just dancing
just-
lights.
yeah.
Yeah,
she's
she looks like she's on fire, but she's not.
Nah. Okay, perfect.
Right?
We
Great.
can fix
No.
that though.
I know her.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry.
So Saint Brenna's on the thing. Have you put the immovable rod back on her, or is she just laying on the slab?
yes,
Right. Oh, okay,
I
right.
put the move rod on her because
Okay.
I'm terrified.
Yeah, I just
Rasmus
want to
is
double
playing
check
it
just to make sure everything. 'cause
Responsibly managed.
Things are gonna get weird real quick.
Every mummy movie starts with this, and I'm trying to
Uh,
prevent this from
So-
happening.
It said it's gonna be like
Yeah, sliding up from the bottom. Yeah.
Limbo,
No.
limbo.
So you kind of start to pray to tap into the help that the high priestess can give you, as they've done so often before when you've needed them.
Right.
As you do that, the world kind of starts to tune out a little bit, which is normal. It happens, in kind of dire moments. One of the last things that you hear and see kind of before you fully tune out, because you're practicing this, you do this, quite often, especially in the pitch of battle. When you start to focus on this, you don't really let go. You have to lean into it. You see Saint Brenna start to push on the immovable rod on the slab as she starts to get up. So the two of you see Erasmus start to either kneel or stand in prayer, and immediately you just hear Saint Brenna try to get up from the slab again.
stop praying. She hates that.
Erasmus, so it takes less than a second or so, but it's
Mhm.
how would this manifest to you? Would it be normally just kind of in standard fare? Would this, in this specific situation of the flavor text of kind of how you're playing this, would
Right.
it show you like a first person view of what you are supposed to be doing or what you should do in terms of guidance, or would it speak to you? 'Cause I could see either, or even third person of like, kind of you're looking at this like sky eye view and then it zooms in on a certain thing.
Right. I've subscribed to like the fun research on out of body experiences that exist in our real world and how consistent they are. That the out of body kind of effect is very almost like just a cinema experience of your own consciousness. I would love to almost feel that overlaid with the etheric or ethereal vision of, you know, one saint looking upon like a ghost looking upon a mummy, and these two, you know, women having served in the church, one trying to help the other is almost this call that I'm trying to present.
Okay.
If they were friends, unless there was some secret with like that I'm about to, you know, we're about to see that, oh, this bitch deserved this.
Oh,
you
yeah.
know?
Okay. Okay. So, all right, let's do it this way then. So as you kind of deep dive into this prayer, as all things are kind of happening at once, right? Time has suddenly the what seemed like a over encumbrance of time has now come to near zero as you are kind of quickly approaching conflict in whatever way it approaches you. You kind of quickly turn to the High Priestess, and you, as a couple times in the past, it kind of zooms out a little bit, and what you actually end up seeing is pretty interesting. You see the visage of the High Priestess floating over what is the non-struggling visage of Saint Brenna on the slab, in place of the mummy. You see the same visage that you saw in the statue, you know, but seemingly trapped in this place. And you see the High Priestess kind of caress her face and say, you know, no one should be in this place, my dear Brenna. You know, seems as though they got halfway through to removing this curse of yours, and well, they forgot the holy water and oil, didn't they? Well, that's a shame. And you see, she kind of looks back at you, and you just go vroom, back into your
I was
body.
like, but that's exactly what I imagine, is wanting to both stay in the moment because I miss my godmother and that in the form of the spirit that I'm seeing, and want to hold on to it. But the part of my brain that's nagging at the realization of my friends, you know, yelling like, "Hey, we're gonna die here," or someone's yelling, "I might set this body on fire." I'm like, "Oh, I got the information I need." Dang it.
You slam back to your own self-conscious, and you hear a couple things. One, you hear Brenna again, just full mummy trying to get out of this immovable rod. Okay. You hear Fayla's over there in the corner being like, "I'm gonna light her on fire. I don't know." Fuck it.
Hurry up.
I said holy water, oil.
Yeah.
Holy water and oil, or oil. Holy water and oil, that's what we need. That's the answer.
Oh, I was just about to grab the sanctified oil, because, you know, wet mummy.
But not lighting her on fire. That's the difference. Your plan...
Okay.
Just try.
Ryan, you've got that, right?
Yes. What?
You've got the sanctified oil from upstairs.
Yes. Oh, actually, yes, I do have that.
I think you actually do, yeah.
I know. I was
It's
like,
one of those moments where I'm like, actually.
Yeah, absolutely. Okay, so, 3 vials of anointed oil and holy water. We have both. So then I will.
I thought the anointed oil just worked like holy water.
It does.
Yeah.
Mechanically, it's the same thing.
Oh, got it. See,
But it's oil.
But hey, it's perfect.
Oil.
So I
Oil.
quickly give one of the vials. Actually, yes, I quickly give a vial to Ghost.
Okay.
Great. Look, we have what we need.
And we've got more for us if this doesn't work.
I'm gonna nod and just begin to quickly utter a prayer that I was taught, and add the anointed oils from the crown of her forehead all the way down through the 7 chakras. And I'm going to say, let's see, something that's not gonna copyright infringement. I say, and shepherds we shall be for the... No, I'm kidding. Just go deep into Boondocks things. I'm going to say, it is the task of those who continue to carry the flame of belief, to tend to what embers have always been there for those in the dark. And I will just leave the oil to settle in amidst all the flames that are thankfully not generating heat. But it's kind of a cool image. To pour oil over a flaming mummy that's not on fire, trapped under an immovable rod, is the most original experience I've had playing this game.
Nice.
So,
And as you do that, Ryan just kind of leans her head a little bit and says, "Flame be with you."
So was it oil or water? It was oil, right?
just the oil, yeah.
So you pour the oil onto St. Brenna as she struggles and attempts to move with this move against this immovable rod. You finish pouring the oil. Both of you finish your prayers, and as you finish the prayers, she stops, and her hands kind of fall on the side of the slab, and you hear this almost like a death rattle, but it seems more of a full release of this spirit. And each of you actually see a very, very faint visage of St. Brenna kind of stand up on the slab and look towards each of you, and then actually look towards the east door where all of the noise is coming from, and then look back to you, look towards the north door, and points, and then fades out.
Points at the north door.
Did you guys see that?
Ghost, that was remarkable.
Appreciate your patience. Once again, you trusted me in a time where there were other options, and we're not done yet. We gotta stick to. We'll talk about this around the campfire.
We're just gonna breeze by the ghost?
We'll talk about it during the campfire.
Okay.
She pointed at this door. How do we get this door open?
Let's try. Maybe it's unlocked.
Maybe
we
it'll
haven't
work
actually
now.
tried yet. I am gonna grab that
The rod.
Is there? Is aside from the inscription, is the door pretty smooth, or is there something that an immovable rod might be able to be jammed into?
Go ahead and roll investigation.
Yes. Woo! That's a 24.
24.
Nice.
You weren't the first one to investigate the door, so it's hard to say if it was here before or whether you just found something that Ryan had missed. But it definitely seems as though there is something that you can. There's a section now that it seems as though you might be able to pry into.
Ooh!
It seems that there's something shifted or something changed so that there is now a way that you can either pry it open or you can, with maybe two of you, lift it.
Yeah.
That nasty mummy was covering this up with an illusion.
Good eye, Felice. Good eye. All right.
Yeah, I would love to jam that in there and try to pry it up enough to get some fingers under there.
All right.
You guys get your fingers under there once I get a gap in.
Got it. I'm probably using crowbar instead of fingers. Feel like I
you
might
got
get
a
a little more
crowbar?
leverage. Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
All right.
Yep.
And I will
Prepared.
bring my head low and peer through to see if there's any danger. Because I want to be, as they're lifting something up, to be available to be close it if I see a wall of acid come pouring out.
Okay,
So we're-
so the two of you go ahead and give me we're going to do strength checks.
Ooh, yeah.
And let's go ahead and do those at advantage because you have an immovable rod and there's two of you.
Got it.
And
Strength, athletics, strength.
Yes. we'll do
Yeah,
athletic
crowbar
strength.
grants advantage as well. So
Yeah.
Nice.
Oh.
I got 2 19s.
Ooh, that's
Love
oh
it.
my god, that's a natural 20 for me.
whoa!
Hey, you guys just throw this door open.
For a
Laurie
total
has
of
rolled
Acid be
4
damned.
19s in a. Laurie's rolled 4 19s in a row, by the way.
Now
That's
there's
happening.
now there were 16s earlier.
What's
Take
right?
those
Strength
back.
modifier?
I'm a 4, I think. Yeah, so I'm a 23.
Oh, okay.
You're
Never
strong.
mind. I
Dang.
thought you were
Struck.
a more dexterous character. Still though,
Struck.
it's
And
a
I am.
surprising effort from
Which-
Thales. I was expecting to throw my back out.
No, I used his legs this time. He managed to
Yeah.
get it right.
Yeah, it's crazy what that adrenaline can do for us. We could have lifted this 3 times at this point.
Okay, great. So you managed to lift the door, and not only lift the door, but actually get it in such a way that you lift it slow enough so that Erasmus can look underneath, check for any danger. Erasmus, you don't even need to roll for this one. You don't see anything that seems immediately dangerous, right? It just seems like an empty room. So you can call to continue, or you can say, no, we're good. But I'm gonna assume you're fine.
If I tell him it's looking good, and I'm describing what I'm seeing in real time for us to make collective decisions. I want to make the decision while this is happening to see if everyone's copacetic with locking the movable rod in place. If this thing feels like if it's on a weight-bearing like gravity system. If it's not on, if it's like one of those things that as it goes up, it locks and clicks into some position. Obviously, I'm cool with that. But if I'm getting the picture that like this is a limited amount of time, I want that
The door took
immovable
a few
rod.
seconds to come down.
That's definitely what it seems. Definitely seems like it's driven on a gravity system. If each of you remember, you had to call back to your rescuees, as it were, to lower it for you.
Oh, right.
And so that's definitely kind of what's happening. So should you need to, if you all three of you wanted to enter this room, you would actually have to brace it. Movable rod is one that would work great for this.
Yeah, we could prop it from the beginning and then pull it on our way once we're on the other side.
Yeah.
Right.
Great. Yeah, you don't see anything. I mean, you see another chamber, but you'll have to get further into the chamber to kind of see exactly what's in it. But it doesn't seem like anything unduly dangerous.
Right.
Cool.
What
once
do
we
we
get it high enough, I'll get the immovable rod underneath and click it.
Yeah, and then should we close it behind us?
Yeah, definitely. Well,
exactly. If we close it behind it, it protects us.
We can
Then
close
we
it
get over the
whenever
other
we
side.
need to.
Okay.
And I think having information before, like I said, like when we have new information that says go for it, you absolutely must. We'll be able to.
As we get in, I would like to drop. It's not big enough. Say drop minor illusion on it so it doesn't look like it's open.
No, because we didn't lift the whole thing, right? We only lifted it up,
right?
like about right. So 5 feet by 5 feet would cover.
Make the hole look half as big if it's like a 10-foot door.
Okay, so as we go in, I would turn around. It's like, we got a couple of tricks up our sleeves. I turn around and cast minor illusion on it, and so then it appears as though it is either, if it can appear as though it's totally closed, that's great.
Yep.
That's really
okay.
That's the coolest
Bam.
use of minor illusion I've seen in a while.
Sick. Okay, cool. So just so I know where everyone is now inside the room. It's propped with the immovable rod, and there's an illusion on the open section of the door.
And
I think now we're good to go through, right?
Yep. You should be.
And we're going through. And I'm using my blind sight 10 feet to make sure I'm not missing out any hidden anythings, especially.
I'm actually gonna wait in the room for a moment while everybody else goes ahead.
Okay.
Just in case something happens as soon as you go through.
Right. That's fair.
I'll
go first, I guess.
Oh my. Okay.
What? Sorry.
This is just an interesting mechanic that they're doing here, which I think is pretty fun. We'll get to it. It's not bad. It's just an interesting thing. I had to read more to understand what it was doing.
Oh God!
Rocks fall.
Yeah. No, that's not that interesting.
What an interesting mechanic.
Death is so interesting.
So, okay, I will describe this because I love the flavor text that they have in this module. So I'm going to read the flavor text to you.
Called mummy issues.
And go from there. Yeah, exactly. So you enter kind of a circular chamber. It's smaller than the room you just came from. There seems to be like an unlit pyre in the center of the room, and then to your north. So you're entering from the south. To the north, kind of in the center of the room, is an unlit pyre. To the right is a statue of Saint Vitruvio, who each of you would recognize from your studies of the Sacred Flame. Really famous saint, more famous than Saint Brenna. Very, very much up there in the pantheon of saints. Kind of armor clad. So in the middle of this circular chamber is a large unlit pyre and several piles of ash and charred wood. A statue of Saint Vitruvio is here with 2 unlit candles set before him. He is an armored warrior clad in plate wearing a decorated helm. At his right is sheathed the great blade, and a large shield rests at his left side. He holds his hands forwards and upwards towards the heavens, and upon it is a large scepter.
I am going to do a knowledge religion check on what I can glean on the proper expected ceremonial way to engage with the pyre. Because I'm very curious on lighting that before doing anything, but I also see the candles, and I don't want to light either things that are a trap for the foolish, or go through the process of not lighting a damn thing for the kind of a whatever I suspect is a test, Indiana Jones kind of vibe.
Yep. Go ahead and roll religion. Anyone who wants to roll religion on this particular room can go ahead and do so.
Nat 20.
Nat 20.
I don't need to roll. There we go.
I can't see through the illusion. Did anyone call back that there's a pyre up there?
Oh, you're not in with us yet?
No, I waited for you to go first to get there was a
Oh,
trap.
got it. Sorry, so I'm going back. Felix, it's safe. Come on in.
Yes, I'm gonna come in, peek through the illusion, see the pyre, and be like, oh, great!
More fire.
And he's gonna blow out the little bit of burning tinder that he was holding, and then go back in, come back out, dragging the mummy by her ankles. A moment later, with his big heavy gloves on, so he doesn't get mummy rot.
Oh, I love this, Opheles. That's so funny.
I just love that he does it with someone who strangely is good at dragging bodies on the ground efficiently. Like I'm like, wow, he's really good at dragging, like a practiced efficiency at dragging bodies by their ankles.
There's a concerning efficiency that Opheles has.
Look at Ghost. Look at Ghost. I'm like, I feel like he's done this before, and
Right.
I'm okay with that. I'm okay with that.
I nod like a kid this is a normal, like it's like the two older people that are gonna be his biggest influence are one who eats monsters and another one who drags undead around by their ankles.
Judgment-free zone, man. Judgment-free
Right.
zone.
It's the safest place to hold the undead by.
Yeah. So what does a nat 20 for a 26 get?
So in this particular room, a nat 20 is really incredibly helpful.
I'm so glad.
The Religion of the Sacred Flame believed in the purifying power of fire in its own way, right?
Mm-hmm.
But more so in its illumination properties rather than like burning someone would purify them. The fact that there is a pyre here and that there are 2 candles in front of the statue is what seems to you more of a religious significance tied to the statue of Saint Vitruvio than just happenstance. Those 3 things, the pyre, the candles, and the statue, seemed to be tied together in this room unmistakably. So it's possible that, looking at it, you could just take the scepter, right?
Right.
There's nothing stopping you from just yoinking the scepter off the statue. But what it seems as though you are supposed to do is you are supposed to venerate Saint Vitruvio in the way that the Sacred Flame would have wanted you to do so, and that would be to light the room up with illuminating fire.
Okay. I will tell him to stay back, that I've got to perform the ritual, or we could end up displeasing what magic we've already seen exists here. And
Yeah, no, don't want to mess with that.
Do what you need. Do what you need to do. Let us know what you need. That scepter is going to give us significant credibility if we can get that.
I've seen some really awful death curses before, so I don't want to get one of those.
You'll do the right thing, Ghost. Do the right thing.
All right. I step forward and go through the motion on the ceremony and creating flame, illuminating this place as brightly as possible, and maybe placing the candles in his hands when I light them, and the statue's upraised hands.
Mm-hmm. Great.
Is the statue holding the scepter in
It
the
is,
upright
yeah.
hand?
It's like this.
Okay.
Yeah.
He's going, woohoo!
It's almost like an equal exchange kind of
Yeah,
situation.
or I guess more like this. Yeah,
Do a quick swap.
I imagine. Yeah.
Yeah, it's definitely more like this, like a veneration, like up.
Mhm.
Yeah.
So you light the pyre, quickly kind of fills this. It also is important to note that the door on the far end is open, which reveals a separate room, which now you can see into with the pyre being lit.
Okay.
It seems like that room has some additional sarcophagi in it. Nothing that you could see really in that room, but just so you know that there is. It seems like there's an additional crypt past that.
Right.
But you kind of ignore that for now. You light the pyre. It seems, interestingly, there seems to be like a small vent in the ceiling, so a lot of the smoke just escapes this small vent, which is kind of a neat thing. Like it's very clear that the Sacred Flame knew what they were doing when they were
This
dealing
wasn't
with
their
fire.
first underground
Their first
fire room.
Yeah, exactly.
Right.
This is
Yeah,
well practiced.
you wanted, their very first saint is
Yeah.
a saint because that guy
Yeah.
fucked that up.
Yeah, lost a lot of saints like on the way to figuring out how to make these
Yeah.
tombs.
Then they had to build the tombs for the saints they lost. It was a whole, it was just a terrible
Almost
cycle.
wiped out the whole cult.
Yeah, it's horrible.
It's awful.
But
Just
you light the pyre, you light the two candles, and as you're placing them on the hands next to the scepter itself, you say a small prayer that is your godfather or your grandmother? Or your
Godmother.
Godmother had taught you. So your godmother had taught you, and obviously it's somewhat related to the Sacred Flame, being the kind of antithesis to it, non-adversarial antithesis to the Sacred Flame. And you, as you reach for the scepter, having now put that there, you notice as you reach your hand forward, having put the candles on there, and you kind of move your hand to the side, your skin is glowing, like radiating light. You grab the scepter. Scepter weighs 2 pounds.
Mm-hmm.
You kind of grab it in your hands and you kind of swing it around. But you notice that every piece of your body is now glowing. You now give off, you yourself are illuminated, and you give off 10 foot of dim light.
Oh no, Erasmus, death curse!
No.
Oh, I'm sorry, bright light.
Bright light.
I look at Phalanx, I'm like, I think he's okay. I think he's okay. Give us a minute.
You don't think he's about to explode?
No.
Erasmus, do you feel like you're about to explode?
I don't know. I've never exploded before.
How do you feel?
I'm like, of course he's not going to. And I take a step back from him. No, he's fine.
I'm gonna run at them and screech. No, I'm kidding. I'm kidding.
with the scepter.
I would immediately throw acid in your face. Not gonna lie.
I'm kidding.
Is there a monster here to kill?
I have just so many intrusive thoughts in these moments that I am like, I have to get them out.
Okay, wait. This might be good. This might be good. Can you turn that off?
So, Josh, can you tell me what I'm feeling and what I can glean from this experience? And if not, then I'm very comfortable with basically taking a short rest later to do so. Obviously,
So
Let's just get out of here.
You are. Go ahead and roll our Arcana check to really understand like really what's going on. You don't feel any worse. You don't feel like anything bad's happening to you.
Right. I'm sure that's how what Marie Curie felt initially.
She lived to like 70.
She's famous though.
She lived for like ever, considering how much radiation she
Right.
was next to. What a champion!
It wasn't as powerful back then as it is now. Let's see.
Yeah, that was a weaker strain before they really got there.
Before they really bumped it up.
14.
Subtle glow.
14. So it seems as though this is a magical effect of performing the correct incantation rather than from the actual scepter. because the scepter itself isn't illuminating any light. You are illuminating light. You can't seem to find a way to turn it off. You hope it will go away.
Is it my skin?
It is your skin. Your skin is illuminating.
I'm gonna start covering my skin up with gloves, and I'm gonna pull my mask, because I have the full ski mask on. So now it's just headlights and a mouth, which is actually
a little bit of brightly glowing neck and wrist.
It's kind of scary when I think about it. It's almost like Daft Punk Halloween over here.
Go ahead and roll me an insight as you're kind of wrapping yourself in all this stuff.
8.
8. Okay. It's difficult to tell why, but every single time you in your fully garb set up with only your eyes visible, Cyclops style from X-Men laser beam vision. Every time you tear your eyes away from the scepter, it becomes so heavy, almost instantly 700 pounds heavy. But the minute you look back to it, it becomes incredibly light.
I guess I'll keep it in front of me.
What if somebody else looks at it?
Try that.
Oh, yeah, so
I'm gonna look away. I'm gonna explain this and look away. Yeah.
It looks like it's the same weight. It only seems as though it's coming from the light shed from the opening in your
because the light's on it. All right.
Makes sense because you got your headlights.
All right, I will then
the lights on it.
take off a glove that holds it and keep the shining light. And now reintroduce myself to the quaking worshippers with no doubt some Life of Brian unfortunate
the glowing hand and the headlights and the balaclava
be not afraid. I need some cash.
Not scary at all. As we look around, how do we get so we know
we have a door.
There's a room we haven't explored yet.
Perfect. That's what I was going to say. What do we see down there? Can we get out?
Okay, so you're gonna move into the next room.
I do want to explore.
Before we move on, you said there was a sword and shield next to the. Could I pick those up?
Yeah, you can.
Honestly, I'm not much of a fighter, but I feel like I feel like Pheles is kind of a sword guy.
I can dig it.
Yeah.
It seems as though they're not, quite frankly, nothing too terribly special. They're not magical in any way, but they're rusted and old, but they're serviceable. You could should you need to,
here.
you could make use of them.
Okay, well, I think I can't cast spells if I touch that shield, but I am going to pick up the sword.
It is a great blade, so it is a mighty sword.
Perfect. A great blade of Saint Vitruvius, maybe.
Excellent.
Vitruvio,
yeah. Just think it's super Italian and not, like a volcano.
Yeah. I think that's what tripped me up too.
You're like Vesuvius.
Yeah, Vesuvius. Okay. So you have that sword now. It's just it says great sword. It doesn't give me a stat block, so
cool.
Just whatever sword
Great
you
sword.
find on that.
Do I get the impression that this is that this is a grave good? Well, no, this isn't his grave.
This wouldn't be his grave. No.
And it's just kind of placed leaning up against it, right?
It seems as though it's a statue devoted to Saint Vitruvio, and so he was a great warrior. So it makes sense that there would be some type of armaments next to it. But it doesn't seem like they were
something that belonged to him. It might just be everyone knows that he's associated with using a too big sword in one hand. So here's a too big sword and a shield to indicate that he used it in one hand.
It's pretty much the vibe. Yeah, 100%.
Excellent. I'm definitely taking this too big sword.
Okay, great. So are you going to be moving to the northern section, the open?
Yeah, we're going to that other room now.
Okay. So as you enter, you see what amounts to, I think it's six sarcophagi in them. Very similar kind of setup to the other room. This one actually, the other one was more like a cave. It seemed those who either chose to be buried there or were placed there, it was more of piety than it was like like they had run out of room. Like, you know, they chose to kind of be in those places just simply because that they chose to live lives of devotion and piety.
Right.
And so they wanted to be very similar to like St. Brenna, very kind of on the level of just almost a rough-hewn cave. This seems more carved and maintained and placed more like a clergyman, kind of less saintly level, I would suppose, less pious level. They don't seem any less well-maintained or you know, well-built, but just to give you kind of the vibe of differences here.
It would be way out of line to pry these open, right?
I mean, you can. They're just sarcophagi.
No, I'm saying to the party.
Oh, okay.
My question is, do we stay and look for more things, or do we leave? We have the scepter.
We have the scepter.
And we know
and-
that there are Queensmen trying to get in.
That's
Way more of
true.
them than there were of us.
That's true, and whatever was hiding the kind of grooves that we used to open this door that magic seems to have failed now, so they probably won't get terribly stuck on it once they get through. But honestly, we've definitely got a moment, right?
What about the people? We need to think about them. We can't just abandon them.
I think they're going to be okay. And if they're not going to be okay, we did abandon them already.
I would like to unabandon them.
Okay, well then, I think what we'd have to do then is rush to find a way out, and then come around the back. I'm hoping they're going to be okay. Since you know they were off to the side and not in anyone's way, they're probably going to get a little bit. They've probably already been a little bit robbed, but we can go and see if they're in need of rescue if you like.
Well, and my DM, right or wrong, the Queensmen are not necessarily random murder hobos. They're probably
They're
looking
targeted
for
murderers.
Right, they're targeted murders. They're looking for specific valuables. So, is it safe to assume that the worshippers maybe wouldn't be in a tremendous amount of danger?
They do
Based-
know
Based,
what to,
based on what we know.
I think they'd definitely be in danger if they didn't know how to open the door. But since they do know how to open the door and they can tell the Queensmen, and they don't have so much loyalty to us that
None.
they'd hide that information probably, but they might have enough loyalty to St. Brenna that they'd hide that. I don't know. Erasmus, it might be good to oh, you know what we could do? Because
We're not drawing straws.
no, I mean
We're
they're
running out of straws.
at this moment they're either okay or they aren't, right? So
Right, it's
we could rush
sort
around.
of-
We could rush around to the front, and then just yell into the church loud enough that the Queensmen will hear us. Sorry guys, we got the scepter. And then rush off before they catch us, and that should safeguard our friends there from any frustrations that might get taken out on them.
Here's
We could
what I
go
want.
further and do some murders if you want, but if we're trying to preserve life, that's probably the best way to ensure the most people survive this situation.
Oh, we could use some illusion to enhance that. I could use some illusion to enhance that as well.
Yeah, we could make it louder. Just
Mhm.
keep us further away.
Mm-hmm.
Here's what I want. And this is just in any order you decide. I want to make sure those people are safe. I want to get them to Emberwood Village. I want to make sure we explore this place because I'm no fool. I know that the dead don't need anything that we can take from them. because the living need it more, and better in our hands of people who are going to make a good difference in the hands of the Queensmen.
Yeah, you know,
With
you've
that-
got that light. Maybe that'll protect you from any death curses.
Yes. Yeah. God, it's
You want to draw straws to see who opens the sarcophagi?
and I do want to deal with the Queensmen in some way. I just don't want them to know about us having the scepter. I think that's a foolish move to give a target.
I agree with that. The scepter is tremendously valuable. They're the Queensmen. They will come after us if they know we have it. I'm not interested in putting that target on our back. I also don't know if the worshippers have interest in going back to Emberwood Village.
Oh, they definitely do. Yeah.
Okay.
Those
They'll
Those-
die if not.
solid
It's
chance
their
they're not
choice.
going to make it back on their own. Okay,
All
so
right.
maybe here's the play.
Mm-hmm.
We go up. We say, oh, I see you guys beat us to the scepter. Darn. I don't know how you got ahead of us. I'm assuming worst case scenario, they have these worshippers as hostages, right? Well, we've been contracted by them to take them back to Emberwood Village. Could we take them off your hands for you? And then we go from there? Erasmus,
will
maybe
say-
hang back since you're glowing.
Sounds
I will
Right.
really
say
good.
2 things for this room I completely forgot. There is another stone door of the ones that you have seen
Thank goodness.
to the east. This one does seem to be recently disturbed. Like there's dust and stuff, very similar to the door that you
Oh, they've been
closed.
coming the back way.
So it seems very similar to the. To the door that you forced open, rather.
Mhm. Oh.
So there is that, and one of the sarcophagi underneath it seems to be glowing like a faint blue. Underneath it. So just those 2 things.
Oh, hey, what's this? And I'm going to reach down to the faint blue glow and see if I can figure out what's up with that. Just hands and knees, getting my face right in it.
Okay. So as you kind of move the top of it and you look in, you see it's actually a large great sword held by what seems to be like almost like a paladin, like an armored guardian of some type, clearly of the Sacred Flame, that has magical runes carved into it that are faintly glowing like a light blue.
How old does his body look?
It's just bones. Yeah.
Can I judge by the armor style when it might have been interred here?
I'm gonna say no. I think it's safe to say it's hard to, the problem is that with the meteor it's hard to say. Like it could have legitimately been any time between 20 years ago to 5 years ago. Let's put it between kind of that time frame.
Okay, so yeah, he definitely would have. Nobody's doing like no, it looked like. I don't know. Well, yeah, it does look like they're putting new bodies down here, doesn't it? But definitely this crypt was built more than 15 years ago.
Oh yeah.
Okay. And this looks like a permanent part of it. I could assume more than 15 years old, but I'm just thinking in terms of like.
Well, bodies don't rot in Drakkenheim.
Oh, they don't rot. So this was bones when they brought it here, or no, it was totally
Or it
bones
was
before 15 years ago.
Yeah.
But I'm thinking in terms of like, is this a relatively modern style of helm, or is this a very old-timey style of helm? Like, is this like something that's maybe between 10 and 100 years old, or something that's between 500 and 1,000 years old?
Definitely closer to like 1 to 100.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I'm
modern in that sense.
I'm gonna like look at the helm a little bit and be like, that's trash. And put it kind of situated back on the body. I'm imagining this guy's clutching his sword, right?
Yeah, kind of like this. Very similar to just kind of holding.
Let's see if I can pry the fingers off.
Okay. So as you do that, you see the skeleton's head kind of lock into place, and he starts to kind of pull himself out of the.
Really quickly, I'm gonna take the other sword and I'm gonna try to like do a swap into his hands.
Okay. Okay.
And then just gonna close his fingers over it and see if I can push him back down.
That, whether that works or not, dude, that is stupid genius. I'm a DM now. I'm gonna rule and pull that shit.
I don't know.
Brilliant.
I don't know
So
how much
funny.
awareness this skeleton has. It might be going fully on instinct. Let's find out.
Okay.
Holy
well, let's-
shit! I almost died.
I'm giving you that one. I'm giving you that.
Go ahead and do. Shit. Go ahead and do. Let's do Arcana. Just as like a to have you roll something because I think it's just way too fun. I don't know. I don't even know.
Roll something.
What do
Okay,
you
that's
roll
all right.
for bullshit? What do you do?
Okay.
You just
What do you roll for bullshit?
That's a 19
I've said-
Arcana, and that might inform the next roll.
So you have
Um,
19 Arcana.
But yeah, like I think Arcana alone should not be able to do like that. Might like help me with
Sleight of
whatever the
hand.
actual thing.
Sleight
is.
of hand.
I think
Yeah.
this should be something I'm probably not good at. This should be like, I don't know. Part of I feel like part of this is totally outside my control. Part of this is just like, how does this skeleton work, right?
Right.
But the other side of it is like, can I get this other sword into his hands? So I think that'd be like probably athletics or sleight of hand.
Yeah, go ahead and do sleight of hand as well. I will say that there is a level of Arcana to this, just as
Okay,
the rules that
so
I'm reading
that's
here.
19 Arcana
Yep.
and a 14 for sleight of hand.
14. Okay, and the 19 on Arcana definitely did affect the DC for sleight of hand.
Okay, good.
So you almost just straight up like pull the great. It's just a skeleton, right? It's not like there's no rigor mortis. Right? You just like pull the sword off, and it starts to raise up, and you just kind of go like, oh! You put the sword in its hands and just push it back down, and then you see it kind of just like the fingers close over it, and it just kind of looks back down at the sword, and you just kind of take the moment, you just slam the sarcophagus lid, and you're holding this glowing sword next to you, just
It's so
and
funny.
none of the other lids are moving. One of the things I will say is that the eye sockets were filled with it looks like gemstones, and they had a holy symbol on their chest. But you now hold a greatsword, which you can identify if you would like, if you want to roll Arcana or Investigation on that to see what it is.
Yeah, I'd love to. Well, oh, God. I'm not greedy, but I am poor. What kind of gemstones were those?
No,
They
I'm
were citrines.
Erasmus is gonna say, these are clearly the guardians of this place. We should at least leave them as such for the Queen's men should they come back.
That's a 15.
A 15, okay. So it's a magical greatsword. It's a +1 greatsword.
Oh, neat.
It sheds dim light for 15 feet, and it has a name. It's called Twilight.
Oh, a named sword.
Yeah.
Hmm.
It also, sorry, I should keep reading these sentences. The minute you pick it up, but you're obviously like in this moment, you're like, good, close the sarcophagus. And you start to investigate this thing, you realize that as you're reading these runes on it, what languages do you speak?
Oh, what languages do I speak? Let me check that. I speak Common and Draconic.
Well, now you can speak Celestial because the runes on the sword
Ooh.
are Celestial, and you can read them now. And you recognize them as Celestial as you were holding the sword.
I feel like I definitely like took 4 years of Celestial and just retained
Didn't
none
get
of it.
Yeah.
It's
Relatable.
all coming back to me.
That's amazing.
So now both you and Erasmus are like illuminated with light in this chamber.
And can I? Is that a spoken language that I can speak, or is it
Yep.
just a written language?
Yeah, speak and understand.
Oh, that's very cool.
And it doesn't seem like there needs to be any attuning to it.
But as long as he's holding it, right?
As long as
No
it's the
attunement.
wielder of the sword.
Yep.
Nice.
That's so cool.
Okay. God, we're underground. We're in some very tight spaces. So I'm gonna guess that y'all are pretty uncomfortable at this moment, as Erasmus is very excited about this sword and is playing with it.
They're not Erasmus, you, right?
Not
You're
Erasmus. Sorry, yeah. Thales is
Absolutely.
yeah, this stooped middle-aged man is really swinging with this sword at this moment.
Phillies, let's play with it later.
Okay, wait, guys.
Looks good.
Open this back. Open the. Somebody open the sarcophagus back up. I want to try this out.
We don't have time. Can we do this after we go back? Like we can return to any place we've been. I promise. But we need to care for the living. We need to make sure this situation can get the
right. People in danger. Let's go rescue them.
And we can come back and we can get those gems if you really need to. But I feel like the skeletons protect from danger. We should protect from danger. Then we can remove skeletons. Sounds good? Am I sounding like a crazy
absolutely.
person?
Sorry, I was just taking a note. Yeah, no, right. People in danger. That's the.
I'm looking at Ryan as well.
Of course.
I'm interested in getting the scepter and getting out. Appreciate and respect saving the people. Let's figure out a way to do that.
Yes.
All right.
I like the plan. Maybe go up to the front door, make some noise, grab the people, and go.
Well, yeah. So best case scenario is we can just sneak in. The Queensmen will have passed them without incident, and we can just be like, guys, let's get out of here, and we're all set. If the Queensmen are like shepherding them through and being like, solve these puzzles for us, which honestly we should have done something like that. I didn't even think of it. Then we might need to, I don't know, buy them. That's a possibility. But yeah, hopefully, I think we could do this without a fight. That would be ideal. But
Absolutely. There were 8 or 9 of them, I think. Yeah.
There were 8 or 9 of them. Maybe if a fight breaks out, we just leave. I think that's a valid option. We don't we have only. We can only lose by fighting them, right? We could win that fight,
100%.
but that would put us in a worse situation than if we never fought them at all. And maybe we don't win that fight. I just don't want to get stabbed today. Yeah.
I'm with you.
I'm really pleased with how not stabbed all of us have gotten. So let's keep that up.
100%. Let's yeah. All right. Let's see what we can do. Let's see what we can do.
Okay. Let's kind of rush forward.
Try to get out
through this next room.
Right.
Thales has forgotten that he was looking out for traps, so he's just going ahead now.
Okay.
So are you going to the closed door now? That's there?
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, is that one like serious closed?
Well, so that one's very similar to the door that you kind of forced open in the
okay.
in the tomb.
Does this one also have some grooves that we could shove something in?
It looks very similar. Yeah.
Okay. All right, crowbar time.
Yep.
All right. So same thing. 2 of you are doing it, or all 3 of you?
2 of us. Yeah.
The same vibe we did
Same
last
vibe?
time.
All right, great.
It's a 13. I'm assuming advantage again because of the pry bars, but okay, so that's a 13 for me.
13.
Oh, 17 and 4, 21.
21. Okay. So you don't. It's not as easy as the last one. You managed to get it high enough to crawl under, but it seems as though it's going to be incredibly difficult to hold for all of you to get underneath it.
Okay. Yeah. So prop with the oh no, gonna run. Crap. Okay. We're gonna let it go down. I'm gonna run back and grab the immovable rod. I think we could be confident somebody's coming down here to do funeral rites, which means that this has to be a through passageway, because there was the one door that nobody had been through in a long time, and then people have been through this one. So either that's a through passageway, either this is a through passageway, or there's some kind of another immortal guardian in here, and that'll suck. But
we'll
take it as
okay.
it comes. I'm gonna run back.
We're ready.
We walk with the lights.
I will say, Erasmus, you didn't see anything past the opening apart from a staircase.
Cool.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm gonna run back and grab it. Wait, no, right on. Is the mechanism of the other door in the tomb room moving at all? Does it seem like they figured it out, or we could just still hear people on the other side?
That's the thing. So as you run to go get the immovable rod, you do hear people, like, it seems as though as you start to move the immovable rod, you could take a look outside the illusion if you want really quick. But you definitely hear people, clear voices, like they have either opened it or are kind of shuffling through. You hear the bodies of sound of like bodies like shuffling on the ground. So it seems as though either they're crawling through an opening or they're slowly making their way kind of through this space.
Okay, cool. I'm actually gonna put up a little peace offering. I'm gonna pull out some. Oh no! What happened?
Oh no.
I'm sorry. Give me a moment.
2, 1.
All right.
All right. So Pheles, you were attempting to
Yes.
treatise with these merry
putting up a
band
little-
of miscreants.
Putting up a little peace offering. Next, like I'm gonna like pull out some parchment and just kind of write in some very kind of flowery script. Hey, we got here first and took the and took the scepter. No hard feelings, I hope.
Nope, not that part.
Oh,
Some
do we see that?
skeletons with some skeleton guardians with gemstone eyes in the next room, and just kind of oh God, where could I put this that they won't find it right away, but they will find it eventually? I think I'm just gonna tuck it into the little like the socket that we when we were prying the door up.
Okay.
The socket that we jammed the crowbar into to get the door pried enough to grab it. I'm just gonna like roll it up really tight and jam it up in there. So hopefully, if we rush around, they won't have found it yet, but they will find it eventually. And I am going to sign it, Pheles the Curious, late of Toadsfield.
All right, but we can't have the part where we have the scepter though. We can't have that part in there.
We didn't see that.
Oh,
We don't know
that's-
what he wrote.
We're not with him at this moment.
I don't think so.
Just writing that out really quickly on the glowing
He's
mummy
gonna
slab.
get us killed.
Absolutely.
And then jam it
We're
up
so
there,
screwed.
reach under, grab the immovable rod, and then rush over, and then we will pry that up.
Okay, so as you grab the immovable rod, you've already kind of placed all the stuff. You grab it. It doesn't immediately like drop, but it drops pretty quickly. But as it starts to move, you hear a couple voices, oddly, almost like say like multiple things, like saying different things. You hear the voices that are closest to you go, "Hey, what's that sound? Oh, that's real weird." And then you hear the back go, "They're moving! They're moving!" And you just hear like, the like metal on bone, just ching, ching, they're moving!
Nice.
And you just hear kind of, not silence,
in the free
but
tomb room with the sarcophagi there.
not silence, but you hear muted just.
Which room was this happening in? I'm trying to remember.
So the room that Pheles just went to had Saint Brenna in it.
St. Brennan, right? Yeah.
Before that was a almost like a hewn cave that had not the most pious, right? But like pious enough to be buried in this section, but almost in like
in a
like
really
a monk-like
expensive,
state. Yeah, is that
in a really expensive unmarked grave.
It's the gated community of graves.
right? But these were just like in almost like a piety cave. Like they didn't have any like bells and whistles. The rooms that you are in clearly have the bells and whistles. This is the room, right? But there are those who chose to live in poverty in order to kind of devote themselves to their religion, and then there were the defenders of those religious people. You are in the kind of room of the defenders of those. But clearly, the same thing that Pheles found was true of the others. And
well, we didn't try to rob those graves.
they didn't quite have the same level of control of not reopen the sarcophagi to steal the goods on them. So you still hear that commotion as you quickly run back
That's
with
good.
the immovable rod.
Do we all hear the commotion?
I'd say you hear a little bit, yeah, but it's as
Okay.
it's closing, so
That's
you
fair.
hear like it's hard to discern exactly what's
Yeah,
going on.
it's all
You
right.
just hear like commotion and then nothing.
Well, good. Well, hopefully they'll stay busy for a while. Let's go.
Actually, if we could, before we move any further, if I could like retroactively, put it this at the top. Hey, sorry for lying. Because I'm planning on going around and lying to them right now.
Perfectly fine.
That's awesome. That's
I think it'll be very
Quentin,
fun.
We're
if
gonna
we
Quentin
leave-
Tarantino this
Yeah.
moment.
If we leave and then 10 minutes later they find a note in the room that they were in the whole time, that couldn't have been left there afterwards. Yeah. Okay. So then we're gonna go around to the front, or up the stairs because we don't know what's up, what's next.
Mhm.
Yeah. So go ahead and roll another strength check to make sure you can get the door open.
Okay, 9 for me this time. Laurie, roll high.
15, so 19.
19. Okay. So same thing. One success, one failure. Managed to get the kind of stone door high enough to crawl underneath it. Not much higher. It's a tight squeeze, but with the immovable rod, you have the faith that you'd be able to squeeze through it.
Nice. Pulling ghosts through. Come on. We got this.
I'm the
Are
first one
immovable
through.
rods like what? What's the prevalence of these sorts of magic items, right? Is this something that I might have heard of, or is everything a little bit unique?
The immovable rod is definitely something you would have heard of.
Okay.
They're pretty useful in general, and so it's definitely one of those things that they're not common, but Drakkenheim was a pretty big city and it was pretty well off. So it's not.
If you're interested in magic items, and
This
you
is the
live in a
place to go.
world with magic items, why wouldn't you be interested in them?
Yeah.
That this is
Right?
probably one of the ones you know about.
Exactly. Yeah. But
okay.
also, Drakkenheim is probably filled with magical items that were just kind of lost to time. Just due
Are you trying to
due its-
pass off this as the scepter? Is that where your brain was going?
No, as I'm rolling through, kind of important question. How much does this door weigh?
Decent
Is
amount.
it-
It's a pretty big
is it-
stone door.
Okay, yeah, it might be better to do the math first. Because I think Faley's, if he's heard of immovable rods and he's interested in them, he might be rolling through with a little bit of trepidation, looking at how big this door is.
It's like 7,000 pounds is what it can hold.
It can hold 8,000.
Yeah,
Yeah.
And it feels like we might be near that.
a 4-ton
You're
door we could be close to.
pretty
but
close to that. Yeah. I'm trying to find. I'm on
I feel like the
Door
game, like the dungeon
calculations.
dudes, would have made the immovable rod exactly within the range of this dungeon. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying?
That's how
Like,
they would have done it, but I like a little bit of DM discretion here.
Let's see. Oh god. Wow. You know how difficult it is to get a
Oh.
stone door weight?
Yes, like weight by volume. Yeah, the specific gravity of, I don't know, what kind of stone is this gonna be? This is gonna be something quarryable. It's
I'm
not gonna be
like-
marble. Marble's expensive. It's gonna, but
Marble's
it's
too expensive.
probably
yeah.
not gonna be granite. Granite's too heavy. Like, what do they?
Sandstone? I'd say sandstone.
Yeah, that would make sense.
Sandstone.
Sandstone doors.
Yeah, man. I mean, I'm gonna say it's.
Okay,
Uh,
you know
What, so what,
no,
are you
this-
trying to do? I guess is the.
I'm trying to see if it's more than 8,000 pounds, and I need to worry about this rod failing as I'm rolling through.
Oh, I'm gonna say no. I'm gonna say
Okay, cool,
barely
cool.
no, but I'm gonna say no. Yeah.
It's maybe wobbling a little bit.
Yeah. I mean, it definitely held the other door for a decent amount of time. So
Yeah.
it's clear.
I think as we're going through this one, Faye is the last one through, and he just like looks at the door and then just stops to do some math before he rolls through.
Looks like a solid wooden door is about 89 pounds.
So it's 150 pounds per cubic foot.
Yeah.
So
I feel like
5 by 5, so it's 25 cubic feet.
yeah, if it's a foot thick. So
So-
that's
And how much? What
20.
did you say?
150 times 25.
okay. So that's well within range.
That's
if
well
it's
within
five
range.
by,
Yeah,
if it's
yeah,
5 by
okay.
5.
That's well within range.
Okay,
good
cool.
call. Thank you. It took me so long to find anything about it. I was like,
Yeah.
why is this so difficult?
Yeah,
Yeah.
so I think Bailey did just stop and pull out a quick reference guide, just like, okay, 150 per cubic foot, doing like a scratch test. to make
Erasmus
sure
is already
hands
through
go.
every
Wait,
time. Like,
Why do I feel like it's the old Texas Instrument,
That's the
calculator
one,
with,
yeah.
Yeah, it's like
No,
he's
well,
got
no,
this
no,
one.
not the Texas Instruments calculator.
The
they,
Texas Instruments
yeah,
abacus.
abacus.
Yeah.
the-
Pocket
like,
abacus.
Texas Instruments has like a quick reference like field guide that they give to employees. I think like it's just the nerdiest possible Christmas gift, and it's just like here's like the tensile strength of every material and the specific gravity of different common
You never know when
building
you might.
materials and stuff.
You,
Yeah.
know, you might need it. You might need it.
But yeah, so once I've done that math, I'm gonna roll through, confident that this rod's not going anywhere,
Okay.
and then pull it through like Indiana Jones's hat.
Great.
nice.
Nice.
So you hear the door close behind you, and you're going to go up the staircase.
Yeah.
So you go up the staircase. To your right, as you enter, it's another room that seems to have like a winch in it. Again, seems to be broken. Not as broken as the last one. Seems as though only one of the arms has now like kind of broken off. There were only two, so there's only one. Seems like it could be more easily serviceable, I would imagine,
Cool.
than the other one. Just haven't gotten to it yet, had they chose to get to it. As you're coming out from the staircase to your right, it seems like that's the large kind of heavy wooden door. Through the opening in the top of the door, you can see that that's the large room with the mephits in it, the skulls and the lights, the orange and green and blue lights in it.
Oh yeah, there was a door we never figured out how to open, right?
Right, that was kind of the far end of that room.
Okay.
And to your left, you see the fountain that you saw at the very beginning. Yes, yeah. So you see a fountain in the center of this room that still seems to be kind of bubbling with water.
Oh yeah, okay. So we're out in the fountain room. I'm gonna wash the mummy off my hands in the fountain.
Okay.
And the fountain room is where we left the acolytes. Are they still here?
So you didn't leave the acolytes in the fountain room.
Oh
You
no,
left
so
them at the
yeah, they
winch
were
to hold
holding
it.
the
Yeah,
winch, right?
Yeah.
Yes, I'm gonna wash the mummy off my hands, and just carefully peek out and see if I can see if I can see the acolytes anywhere.
Okay. So as you start to kind of look around this room, there are 5 murals kind of painted on the walls above you. It seems to show, as you kind of look at each of them in order, the funeral rites of the Sacred Flame for a slain paladin, possibly one of the ones that you had retrieved that sword off of.
This is back in the method room.
No, it's over. It's in the fountain room.
In the fountain room, which we never really looked that much into. Okay.
Yeah. So it shows the body being prepared, washing the body, wrapping in linens, collecting the weapons.
Probably anointing with oils.
Yeah. Placing the body in the sarcophagus, placing the holy symbol in its hands, and gemstones upon the eyelids, very similar to coins for us. They anoint, again, like you were just saying, holy water and oils. They place and light candles around the body. And then the last one is them reading funeral rites over the body. So essentially what it shows is it shows the process that you did for purifying sin.
Cool.
Um,
Yeah. Okay.
And there
Okay, so
are
we know there's at least some of the Queensmen deeper in.
yes.
Yeah, like peeking out at like the adjacent rooms to this one. Do I see our acolytes anywhere?
So they were kind of tucked around a corner. So you look to the left, you see the staircase to leave, and then to the right, you see kind of a shorter hallway, and around that corner is where the acolytes were. So you can't see them, and you definitely hear commotion, but you don't hear the acolytes or anything like that.
Can I just quickly tiptoe?
Yeah, you
like
can.
through
Yeah.
that central space, just rush and hope nobody's looking this way.
Oh God! Is there anything else in the
In the room?
fountain room?
There is. There's a couple shelves. You can investigate if you want.
Yes.
Definitely.
And there seems to be what seems like I'm gonna do oh baby. And there seems to be like 7 empty vials on the like fountain edge. Seems as though they were about to be filled up. You're getting the feeling that the fountain is holy water. That's the kind of vibe you're getting from it. Go ahead and roll me a stealth check, Felix.
I got a sturdy 20 investigation.
Okay. So for the shelves and stuff.
Yeah, for the fountain room.
Okay, great. So apart from the murals and those vials, they're very clearly just on the fountain, you find a bunch of shelves with equipment. You and Ryan kind of sift through them. You find a bunch of equipment and tools to prepare a body for ritual burial. You find 6 vials of sacred oil, so holy oil in this case. Spell scrolls of lesser restoration, dispel magic, and remove curse.
Oh, damn.
And you find
like, we're gonna
2
need those.
potions of healing.
Oh, beautiful.
All right, I will split.
Just regular potions.
Yeah, just regular potions of healing.
So I will give since it's Ryan and I at this moment, I'm gonna give 1 potion each, 3 oils each.
There's the 7 empty vials too.
Yeah, should you choose to fill them. Yeah.
And I will fill them because I suspect this is holy water.
Hmm.
And I will.
Yep, you suspect, right?
And I will. And I will.
So one you could have 6 and one could have 7.
All right. So I'll do 6.
We're gonna be a terror. Like if we do like.
Well, and we still have 2 left from earlier too.
2 healing potions. Yeah, who has the 2 from earlier?
Laurie did, or
I do.
Ryan does.
Okay. And then what were these scrolls? Dispel magic.
Lesser restoration and remove curse.
All right, I want to take a look at I'll let you guys do something while I look through my spell list to see if I can cast these.
That was a 10 total for me.
10 total. So you think you're being incredibly sneaky, but it's not as sneaky as like a sneaky person would be sneaky. Not bad, but it's pretty quiet down here. Apart from all of the apparent commotion that's happening on the other end, which is the only thing that saves you. And you manage to look around, and you see the acolytes. They're a little bruised and beaten up, but they're kind of leaning on the winch, just being like, "Oh God," and kind of bruised and bloodied up. But they all seem to be breathing. All 3 of them seem to be breathing, and are just kind of leaning on the kind of homemade winch that you had made. But it doesn't seem like any of the bandits are around. From what you can
Are they holding the winch in place, or they're just leaning on it?
They're just leaning.
I'm gonna peek in. Guys, we're getting out of here. You wanna come?
What? They look at you and they look at each other and they're like,
We'll take you back to Emberwood.
yeah, okay. And they just kind of put their hoods up and kind of quickly kind of shuffle down. They like start like hobbling, and then they're like, nope, the only way to get out, whoop, and start like moving real quick.
Great.
So they turn the corner with you. All three,
Yeah.
yeah.
So we're gonna Scooby-Doo peek back into the fountain room. And be like, guys, come on.
All right, we'll follow.
Let's go.
The sorry for lying isn't gonna make any sense now, but I don't want to alert these people at all. So it'll just be a little confusing for them.
Let's Great. What's the fastest way out of here?
Just straight up and through the church. Oh, wait, no. There's the sneaky back way. Where did we come in through?
Yeah, I want to
Right,
go
shooting
out the
right
way
in front
we.
of you.
I want to. Yeah.
Are we
yeah,
close to the sneaky back way?
Yeah, it's
Oh,
right
the
in front of
fountain
you.
room is where we came in. Okay, yeah.
Right.
So,
Get the hell
we're
out.
gonna
So-
pop back out to this like secret fountain exit.
But I do want to investigate anything that we could have, ran by that could have been useful or beneficial to us, like on the way out.
Yeah, so you basically came in this direction, so there's nothing extra
Straight
that
shot
you
out
have
through
missed.
the graveyard.
Yeah, you have successfully managed to explore this entire area.
It is
Yes.
Surprisingly, you managed to get every single corner.
I
of
get
this
such
spot.
a big dopamine hit in video games where it says like 100% complete
Yeah,
exploration.
You got everything.
So
in this
you to
area
give
on
that to me
heights.
in a D&D game is all I needed right now.
We do have that nasty lock right here. It might actually be easier for us to go up to the front. The risk is that there might be some guards there. I think the lock's probably an easier obstacle.
I can easily
Let's get the
handle
lock.
the lock. Yeah.
Okay, so and if we can't
We're
get
hustling
that,
through.
okay, so we'll go up to the like kind of undercroft doors,
Mhm.
and I'll kind of like hold them up for Erasmus to try to reach around and pick the padlock.
Okay.
Unless is that still locked?
No, I think that's good.
It's still locked. Yep.
Okay, cool.
Okay. All right.
These guys
so-
are really dedicated to getting through that front door.
And while they're doing that, I'm just standing in the back, with a little sparky hand, just in case.
Okay.
I got a 22 on
22.
my.
Yeah. Easier than we got in. We're talking so
I'm-
much about it being difficult on the way down, but.
You know what? I've grown as a man since then. I now glow with holy light.
Yeah. Exactly.
Your
Your glowing
patron
hands.
saint. I am the patron saint of escapes at this point.
We'll use that.
So you
Okay.
quickly manage to dispatch of the lock, find yourself back in the garden.
I do keep the lock. I'm writing that down, by the way. That
Okay,
I'm keeping a padlock.
Yeah. And you find yourself back in the garden, or the chapel's garden. One thing I will note as you exit, you do hear more voices from the front of the chapel
We go at the front.
that seem...
It's like another fucking faction. I swear to God.
They
Probably.
seem not as brusque, but no less enthusiastic about their cause.
Actually, I'm gonna
We need to
pop
get the
around to
hell
the
out.
front. Not stealthily. I'm just gonna kind of like come jogging up in my wizard robes.
Okay.
And a great sword on your back. Don't forget.
Yeah,
Throwing
yeah.
greatsword, yeah. Okay. So
Just kind of holding it.
as you turn the corner, and I will give you a second on this one as you turn the corner to make a call. But you turn the corner and you see who you would recognize as 9 humans that are dressed in the garb of the followers of the Falling Fire.
Oh God.
The followers of the
Gotta
Falling
run,
Fire are they're
They're worse.
fanatic cultists
They're
that
worse.
worship the falling or the fallen meteor. Is essentially the vibe that they put out.
Yeah.
So it seems as though the scepter of Saint Brenna is definitely something, or the scepter of Saint Vitruvio is
Vitruvio.
definitely something that all of the factions seem to have a play
Yeah.
in.
No.
And you start to round the corner. You notice that. Would you still like to move forward towards them? Or would you like to take a second and just kind of backpedal and see if you can disadvantage stealth your way back around the corner?
I think I'm gonna stop approaching, but I'm going to call out to them. Hello.
Okay, and you see there's a kind of wispy, thin human woman that you haven't seen before, but then kind of 8 others around her, and they're all kind of peering inside the totally busted open door. I mean, this door was like ripped to pieces by the bandits out front, or the Queen's men from the front. They got tired of trying to push their way in, instead just ripped the door apart. And she looks over at you, and kind of looks over at her group and goes, "What are you?" Collect him, and you see the other 8 kind of turn to you and start to move your direction. I need you to roll initiative whether you're going to fight him or not, because we're going to see what happens from here on in. The other 2 of you do not have to roll initiative because you're not.
Right, we're not there.
No,
Yeah.
nope.
And I'm looking when I hear all of this. I'm looking like we should bail because these people need us.
Yeah, they haven't seen you yet. You're on the other side of the building.
Yeah.
That's a 7 for me.
7. Okay. Oopsies.
Yeah, I think that as they say collect him, I'm gonna roll my eyes and I'm just gonna like kind of approach.
Okay.
Like kind of like I don't have a sheath for this sword, but I'm gonna tuck it under my arm and kind of like hands up.
Okay.
And I got a 17. I'm not sure if we're rolling initiatives.
Yeah, you guys are not. So Erasmus
Okay,
and Ryan,
cool.
you are not.
Cool.
So Phalese, what did you get, Phalese? A 8?
A 7.
A 7. Okay. Okay. Too many initiatives. Oh my god. Well, it's a good thing they suck at bowling.
We'll see. We'll see.
Okay. Honestly, considering there's 8 of them, it's not bad. That could have been way, way worse. Okay. All right. Cool. So 3 of the cultists approach you. They're still about 10 feet out from you. That's their whole turn. They're just going to kind of move towards you.
Cool.
Not take any actions. They're just kind of coming to seize you is kind of the idea. Actually, 4 of them do. So 4 of them manage to move, and then it is your turn.
Cool. I'm going to walk up in the middle of the 4 of them and be like, all right, let's go.
Okay. Well, it's not their turn, so they can't do that. But the other 4 are going to walk up to you, and they are each going to grab you.
Cool.
So going to grapple you, I assume unopposed.
Yeah.
Good.
Somebody hold this sword for me.
They grab the sword. They're like, whoa, I can speak Celestial now. That's amazing.
Cool, right? Yeah, it's sick.
And they each grab you and kind of bring you over to the leader of this troop, who is standing out front, kind of half paying attention to what's going on and then half looking inside, trying to discern what's happening. And as you get pulled in front of her, she looks at you kind of lazily and just kind of goes, "What are you doing here?"
Oh, I came to talk to you.
I swear to God.
How did you know that I would be here?
I fully didn't. Just pure coincidence.
Okay.
I just wanted to share some information with you. I don't rightly know who you are at all. But I just wanted to share with you that there's a handful, perhaps, somewhere between 5 and 9 Queensmen remaining down in here, along with some skeletons and no scepter of Saint Vitruvio.
And at the mention of the scepter, she kind of looks at you, immediate full attention for the first time. And she goes, "How do you know about the scepter?"
Oh, how did we find out about the scepter? Oh, the Knights of the Silver Order told us about it. They got the scepter already.
Of course they did.
Yeah, beat us to it.
Go ahead and give me an actual deception check.
Lovely.
Her initial reaction is to believe you.
Right.
That's a 19.
A 19.
Nice.
Nice.
I'm
So
not
yeah,
bad
the
at
DC was pretty low because she like
Uh-huh.
it's kind of like in the nature just like
Yeah.
whatever, but then the Knights of the Silver Order would do that, and so that makes it like totally tracks. And so she fully believes you. She's like,
Well, yeah, I just didn't want you to run in there and fight the Queensman for nothing.
and what makes you so generous here in this glorious, beloved city?
What? I can't be offering this information out of the kindness of my heart. No, but truly, I would. I don't know. I was hoping to have a candid discussion with somebody. I recently touched a shard of delirium, and it didn't have the effects that I was led to believe that it would. I seemed pretty okay. And I'm not sure who I should talk to about that. But you folks seem like I don't know. You might have a different perspective on that. And I just haven't had the opportunity to read much of your literature.
She has a kind of an interesting pause. So it's hard to. You can roll insight if you want to kind of dig into this further, but it's difficult to read her face when you mention the delirium. Everything else is kind of like hand wavy. She's like, yeah. It's a whole bunch of like glossy words over something. But the
16.
minute you mention delirium, she kind of locks in, but her face is kind of unreadable. On a 16, you could tell it's mixed between disgust, anger, and almost being impressed. Not impressed at you, but impressed at like the bravado. You can roll a religion check if you want to see like why.
This seems like a good time to roll that religion check.
Yep.
I know they venerate this
Come
stuff,
on,
and I
baby.
don't really have a good grasp on why. This isn't my special interest. Okay, religion. Okay, that's a 19.
A 19. Okay, great. Yeah, that was a great roll. So the followers of the Falling Fire essentially believe the meteor was delivered from the gods, which means that the site of impact is a holy place. It also means that delirium their shards of delirium are sacred items. They believe specifically that delirium should only be used in their religious offerings.
Right.
They should not be used in any other way. It's a dereliction of using them, or it's a
Of course. Now, back up a little bit. I didn't say that I cast a spell with it. I just said that I touched it.
Right. Well, right, exactly. But it's
But
very
even
similar.
so,
It's-
that's
it's kind of crosses a line, right?
like it's being like, oh, you're Catholic. I once got I
once had
Saint
some of
Evo
the-
like it was a baseball.
Yeah. Or like I once had the Eucharist, and you're like, what? You're like, you're not allowed to do that. Like, so very, very similar. That being said, her face isn't pure anger at you. It's, you see she's kind of trying to wrestle with this, almost this belief that like everybody is redeemable and savable. At what point do you draw that line? Like, like clearly you have crossed a line, but like, can you be brought into the fold?
Do we want this guy in our
Yeah,
group?
is kind of the thing. And so you could see that kind of play across her face. And so she pauses and goes, well, you are more than welcome to visit us in Emberwood after we finish our pilgrimage through this holy city, and speak to us about some of the literature that we have, and we will show you the proper way to perform
An
this
enclave there.
ceremonies.
That's lovely. I will stop by and see if I can alleviate myself of this state of ignorance. Yes, well, Good luck on your continued pilgrimage. I don't intend to try to stop you from going in here. I just wanted to, forewarned is forearmed and all that.
I appreciate it. And I didn't catch your name.
Oh,
Future
Thales.
Thales.
Thales of Tulsfield.
Thales.
Formerly of
Future
Tulsfield.
Flame of the Falling Fire. It is great to meet you.
Wonderful. What was your name?
My name is Katya.
Katya. Lovely to meet you, Katya. I hope to see you in Emberwood, perhaps, or deeper into this lovely city.
Yes.
May I have my sword, buddy?
And she kind of pauses for a second, and you could kind of tell she's like on the verge of saying no. Like it's one of those. She has one of those faces and one of those kind of like visages that like it could go either way. Like every sentence could be is just 50-50. Be like, do you want pizza for dinner? And be like, no, but also could kill you. Like it's very on a tightrope, right? And
You want a persuasion check?
No.
Okay.
And so she's kind of in that space. It almost seems like that's just her face, or like that's just kind of how she operates and likes to kind of make people uncomfortable with that. And is not like isn't going to be swayed either way.
Right.
That's just kind of how she vibes. And there's a long look at you and then quick look at the follower holding your sword, and kind of nods. And he presents the sword back to you, and you feel all 8 hands that were holding you just kind of off at once. And actually, a couple just brush you off. And they cut their hands kind of go back in their robes, and they kind of pull their hedges, and they kind of gather around Katya again. She says, "Well, Thales, I hope to see you soon. Maybe we can discuss more of this curiosity of yours."
Yes, indeed. Lovely to meet all of you. Good luck in all your endeavors. And he's gonna jog off with his great sword.
And the whole way that you are jogging off, she is just following your movements the whole way. Like, you have just like twisted an interesting curiosity in the followers of the Falling Fire. That like, one, you gave information away that is very valuable for nothing. 2, you were only disrespectful in the sense you didn't know. You also only touched delirium, which is not uncommon, isn't great, but isn't uncommon. But you kind of were curious about it. It's almost like, walking into like a reading room of Scientology and asking to see the pamphlet is kind of what you did. And so they're not necessarily acting with immediate
or like not
disdain.
even the front room, but like there's like a meeting going on in a back room.
Yeah, something like that. Where
and somebody who wandered
what?
to the front room is just like employees only. Do I count? Like,
yeah, that's pretty much exactly
work
the
here.
vibe. Yeah. It's like a, it wasn't bad, but it wasn't like the normal way to do things, and so they were very much caught off guard, especially in this place, especially with what they were walking into. And so it was very strange to find a future convert in this amongst this place and to be given immediate, free, valuable information from them. That they may or may not do anything with, right? They may have to vet it, but at least you gave them some type of information.
Yeah. So I'm gonna come jogging back. Everyone's still there?
We did not abandon you.
Fantastic.
Not that we wouldn't have, just that we didn't.
Yeah.
Just saying.
Okay. So I'm gonna run back and be like, guys, let's get out of here. Those guys suck.
Let's get back to Emberwood. Come on.
And we're gonna start trying to make our way back to Emberwood.
Yep.
Right.
So
And
on
you're
the way
telling
back,
you're telling us about what just happened.
Yeah, most of that.
Yep, fair enough. And we're talking about, and as we're making the trip, I'm talking to Ghost a little bit about what are you thinking of doing with the scepter?
I need to spend some time meditating and praying with it. I need to commune with some things about me that I don't mean to hide from you. It's very personal.
Hey, if it's the fact that you're religious, that doesn't bother any of us.
It's not so much that I'm worried about what bothers you, it's that I want to have your confidence as I do things you might not understand.
Oh
I-
yeah, like waking that mummy up with was that just a prayer of wake a mummy up? Because
I think
you started murmuring a little bit, and immediately that mummy came right back to life.
I think the mummy was
That could be useful.
responding to something within me, yes.
As you spend time with the scepter and as we think about it, let's have further discussions. Just with a simple understanding of how valuable it seems to be.
Mm.
I'd like us to talk a bit about whether that is something we should keep, or is that something that we should turn over?
I feel like if we keep that at this point in our kind of delving careers, we're gonna get super murdered.
I
Just so fast.
I 100% agree.
Now there is a point at which it might be valuable enough to roll those dice, but I feel like most of the things it could be probably not worth getting as murdered as we would get over it.
Yeah.
And it does seem like the most valuable thing that it could do is buy us some friendship.
That is exact.
I don't think we're gonna get too far here without friends. And
I-
I know we
I-
have some affiliations already.
absolutely agree that we've worked with the Silver Order before. We've seen what they do. I think that what this would garner from them are trust, greater opportunities for us to do more moving forward.
You're not wrong. But here's the thing.
Mhm.
I think through Ghost here, through Erasmus, we're already in pretty good with the Silver Order. That would no doubt advance us in their estimation.
Mhm.
I would
But-
prefer through them than anything.
Absolutely.
And they would probably use it the most responsibly even. But if we gave it to somebody else, we could acquire a friend we might not otherwise be able to acquire. Whereas I think as long as we continue kind of accomplishing these sorts of things, I think that our good repute with the Silver Order will only grow. Whereas this could open a door that might otherwise be closed.
Our friendly nature with the Silver Order will only last as long as they don't hear from other people that we're friendly with them. And in this place, this town, it's not going to happen. There's just too much of us rubbing elbows with because everything's so constricted. We're in we got too many necks in the noose right now. I don't want to take the chance of pissing off the only people who are going to treat us with the degree of respect that we show, with no conditions, as opposed to the other places which you have to show a constant sign of strength and have no virtues.
That's a strong judgment, but
I've been in the city long enough to see that there's just a constant flow of predators, and the Silver Order are shepherds.
well, let's give it to them then, shall we? Oh,
We can talk
conditional on us discovering that it is not, in fact, something that we very much like to play with and are maybe willing to die over. And we're having this conversation as we're continuing to exit the
Yes.
city.
Yeah.
Right.
We're still moving.
Okay. So as you are, sorry, what were you gonna say? Right.
No, nothing. I'm just going to go on and talk about. We did very well as a team. Coming into something we had no idea what it was going to be. Didn't even have to fight much. I think we did very well.
we didn't have to fight really at all. I mean, the mummy took a swing at you, and I don't even remember, honestly. I was so fixated on the spiritual hallowed. Everything felt so right in that place after we settled it all down.
Honestly, I'm just feeling warmed up, but we do have some acolytes in tow, so we should,
Nice.
we should
Yes,
head back
we're
for their
moving.
sake.
We're moving. Yeah, no,
Yep.
Ghost, that was a very special, it was clear that was a very special place for you. And we also continue to show, we don't need to shoot first most of the time.
I
Most
left
of
the
the time.
mummy in the hallway. I hope. You know what?
Is that a euphemism? What? Oh, sorry.
No! I just remembered. I had intended to either put the mummy back on the slab or put it on the fire. I did neither. I left it in the hallway. It's best of our knowledge, it's probably not a mummy anymore, right? It's probably just a corpse. You don't think she's gonna get mad? Do I feel cursed? We got that scroll, right?
We do have the scroll.
You might have a death curse. It just might take a while.
All right, we'll check when we get back.
About 100 years.
Yeah. You're the death curse of a long life.
Yeah. Okay, great. So as is required by Drakkenheim rules, I have already rolled you on the encounter table on your way out.
Okay. What pace? We said double pace on the way out, right?
Yep. Full pace. Yep.
But honestly, at this point, like you're pretty close to the edge, so I'm just gonna roll one encounter table.
Yeah,
or
we
one
are.
encounter roll, moving at double speed.
Perfect. We're on the edge, man. We're on the edge.
So as you start to essentially run through the city of Drakkenheim to leave,
because it's like 5 or 6 at this point, right? So like sun's gonna be setting.
Yeah, I mean,
it hasn't started already.
It's kind of permadark in Drakkenheim, but yeah, it's
gloom,
worse when it's
like,
dark.
It's starting to get dirty looking gloom, like there might be a sunset somewhere.
Yeah, exactly. And as you are kind of running through the city, you make turn after turn after turn after turn, and end up. You end up essentially where you started. Not back at the chapel, but like essentially where you started to run after you had gotten away from the chapel. You find yourself kind of back in that spot. Like, damn, okay, made a wrong turn somewhere. That's a bit of a drag. One of the things you do notice after you make that wrong turn is you do notice a couple of like rundown workshops and warehouses kind of further down the street that you hadn't seen before, which was, honestly kind of nice because you're looking around a little bit more instead of just running. So each of you can choose what you would like to do from there. But it is now.
Guys, do we want to peek into one last thing? I know it's almost sunset, but I bet there's something pretty good there.
Of course, whatever. You guys know better than I do in terms of risk versus reward. I think I know people. I just don't know much about this.
Now, is this a warehouse in a warehouse district, or it's a warehouse like there's the chapel here? This is like a kind of nicer part of town. Not obviously not the nice part of town.
Yeah.
But are we like in an industrial area, or is this like or is this somewhere a little bit nicer than that?
It seems a little bit nicer than that. It seems as though it just is a workshop in a general neighborhood area. That seems to be surrounded by like storehouses and warehouses, but it's not. It doesn't seem like at the time that this was actually an operating city that this would have been a bad part of town. From what you could tell.
And through like the grime of years, can we get a sense of like is there any signage that's surviving?
No, not that you can see. Nothing that would be legible. There are signs.
Let's just peek. Let's just
Bailey,
peek.
Bailey's, go ahead and take a quick peek. I will continue to say I think our priority is to get back quickly. We have targets on our backs right now.
Top
Let's
priority.
do
But look at
this.
this. This is on the way, right?
Go.
We didn't know that on the way included looping around once, but it did.
Fair.
True.
So this is on the way.
Go
and-
in. We'll stand
But
outside and wait.
in that time, because light act, did it take an hour
Yeah.
of time? Could I have attuned? Is that
Yeah,
possible?
To the scepter if you want.
Because I want to be as understanding and connected to the scepter as possible as soon
Yeah.
as possible. I would have done nothing else.
Yeah. I mean, yeah,
so-
you were running, but yeah.
Right.
Absolutely. So you could definitely do that.
All right. Do you send me that information?
I will do such a thing as soon as I
Death
find
curse.
it. Death curse.
That's our. Is
Um,
that our group name?
Death
The Death.
Yeah.
Death Curse crew, or the death. Just the Death Cursed.
The death. I don't know. Death cursed is. Death cursed is fun. I think we might be able to do something that fits us better, though. You know.
The
Right,
de-
let's hold off for something else.
I will say
Right.
it's pretty interesting because you as you go on your merry jaunt through the city, you
You're on our way home, but
Yeah.
getting lost.
and you essentially return back to where you were as Faley starts to head off into take a look at the warehouses or the workshops. You settle down to attune, or you were attuning to this object.
Right.
As you are finished attuning, you see your hands like you're not done attuning yet, but you see your hand light fade to just normal skin, and the scepter for like 3 seconds as you're finishing your attunement gets heavy to the point that it starts to drop to the ground, and then you finish your attunement before it hits the ground. It becomes incredibly light again, but you are not
Oh,
glowing
interesting.
anymore.
Okay, that helps me survive. That's great.
And to be
can't-
clear, double checking, I am still glowing, right, with my sword.
Oh yeah.
It's all but it's not his skin
The
glowing.
sword
it's
is
the
glowing,
sword, the exposed sword is glowing.
Yep.
Mhm,
Yep.
Like Sting. Got it.
mhm.
All right. And what can I do with this thing? And did you send it to me?
I haven't sent it to you yet.
Okay.
Because it's got stuff tied to it.
Right.
So let's do the warehouse thing first, then I can explain as you're heading
Okay.
back to everyone.
Are there any ground level windows?
Yes, there are.
Cool. I'm gonna just kind of see if I can buff one to the point where I can peer through it using the sword for light.
Okay. So you look in. It just looks completely destroyed, just torn to pieces. Looks destroyed in the falling of the meteor and the fires that came after. 2 with the looting that happened after that. 3 with the general unrest that came after that. And then 4 the just years of decay and decrepitness that had followed. And then it looks like it was kind of picked clean mostly.
Mm-hmm.
But the very last bit is it looks like someone had used this as a stash spot to keep the treasures that they had started to find. So it seems like there's about 4 items kind of piled into kind of a tucked away corner that you can see
I
from
see
the
a
window.
little back
you're
over there with
looking
some stuff.
Yeah, so it's not like really perfectly hidden. It honestly just looks like someone picked a building and was like, I'll just hold these here, and then never came back for them.
Cool. I'm gonna. Yeah. I don't know. If I were using this as a stash spot, I'd trap the door. So I'm actually going to kind of wrap a fist in my robe and just kind of break through the window. And kind of get the glass out from around, and I'm gonna try to duck in really quick. And I would like to look for specifically arcane traps as I'm
Okay.
approaching. I don't think Valey's respects tripwires. I think he's looking for glyphs.
Okay. All right, go for it. Go ahead and roll. Let's do Arcana.
Beautiful.
That's awesome.
All right, that's gonna be a 18.
18. Okay. So you don't see anything arcane or
Oh, outstanding.
anything, that would cause any undue concern, I guess.
Uh-huh. Yeah, so,
Yeah.
so
Yep.
you see Bailey's break the window, dive through, and then like 30 seconds later, he just like kind of dives and somersaults back out, and then gets up, and then runs back.
I forget.
What
This is
back.
not like this isn't an old guy. This is like a middle-aged guy pretending to be old. Is the vibe I get from him.
I'm contextually old. I'm like 65.
Yeah, you're young. You're young.
Yeah, I'm not properly old, but I'm old enough that that it's a bad idea to be somersaulting through windows.
Yeah, I was gonna say. Okay, cool. So you grab.
That's the context.
But he just got a sword. He's feeling very cool right now. He's got to impress the teens.
Oh, God.
Oh no.
Oh.
Okay.
So you managed to find 4 that look like kind of artistic objects, like just seemed like valuable art objects.
Mhm.
And just for contextualization, if you were to try to sell them, they are 25 gold a pop.
Our random thing on the table was an art stash. Is that what just happened?
Yeah.
That's so sick.
Cool.
It's nice to know there's some good things that can happen on those rolls.
Yeah.
There's surprisingly, it's surprisingly even.
I'm just gonna dig
the ones
through
that are
like,
really
like
bad are
pulling
really
stuff out
bad.
of just like, oh, these are collectible.
Nice. I can totally get 25 gold for
Man,
this.
and they're still in the box.
Yeah. Is it a shiny orange dragon painting?
Yeah, just like a hand painted dragon, shiny.
Yeah. Yeah, first edition, my chance.
Mm.
That's funny.
Excellent.
Great. Okay. And because you rolled in the encounter table, we are not going to roll another one as you continue to make your way out of the city of Drakkenheim. So,
Beautiful.
So we got art, we saved people, we got an artifact of the city.
Yep.
And nothing bad happened. Nobody got hurt.
We still have aid on us, by the way. The spell aid.
Yeah.
I guess.
Someone got punched by a
You
mummy.
guys
Who
killed
got
it.
punched by the mummy?
No one's gotten punched,
Yeah,
right?
Did you get punched by the
I
mummy?
think it missed.
It might have been.
missed. Oh no,
It's
it
swung,
hit.
but it missed.
Somebody got punched by the mummy.
Maybe
Was
it
it
was Ryan. Did you take any damage from the mummy?
Rand was swung on, but I don't
What's
know
our?
if she was
How many temp HP do we have?
0. But we got
With
8
a
doesn't give
5
temp
sort of
HP.
fake temp HP.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, because I've still got the 5 on there.
Right.
What?
Maybe
Yeah,
I
Must
misremembered.
have missed. Yeah. I know it swung, but I don't know if it hit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I don't think it hit.
Definitely nobody got mummy rot, thankfully.
Not yet.
So,
that was my hand.
Delayed mummy rot.
okay. So the reason I have not sent you any stats on the scepter as you're making your way out of the city is because there are no technical stats to the scepter. At least let me make
A tunable item with no stat. That's exciting.
Let me make sure.
I could have sworn.
It's more of an artifact.
It's an item that you can't learn things about even by attuning to it.
Oh
We
no,
shall
I'm
see.
sorry. Okay, here we go. Whew, thank God. I was like, that seems super weird. Okay. Are you considered a spellcaster by your?
I am.
Oh,
Yeah.
perfect. Love that. Okay, great. So it is a +2 magical quarterstaff.
Oh.
It has 10 charges, and while you're holding it, you can use an action to expend 1 or more of its charges to cast one of the following spells from it: Guiding Bolt, Flaming Spear, or Flame Strike. And then it regains 1d6 plus 4 expended charges at dawn.
Okay, guys. What if we just roll the dice on this?
We are all spellcasters.
My
I
opinion stays the same.
I think I think if someone's gonna wield it, it should be you, Erasmus. This seems this seems like it came to you, honestly.
No. You said that this could buy us something more than.
But your
This could-
concern was primarily with what others might do with it if we gave it to them, right?
Right.
Does the Silver Order have any pressing use for this that would do more good in their hands than ours?
And this is where I'm going to go to the DM here and ask.
Yeah.
I know there's a mechanic built in with the factions. I don't understand the mechanic, but I know that if you do some pretty dope shit with one mechanic
Do
for
nice
long
stuff
enough,
and they'll like you.
Yeah,
get,
exactly.
but like for long enough, you get like, I think levels of
It's called
awesomeness.
a faction boon.
Okay.
I'm actually just trying to look that up because it's got a mechanic tied directly to it.
I feel like diegetically, though, like in universe, we would all understand. Do nice things for people, and they'll like you, and help you out more, right? Like we probably wouldn't understand, like unless there are levels of like explicit, like you are an official friend of the Silver Order,
right? It's like
they do have different levels, right?
Yeah, but but those levels are probably non-diegetic, right? Like they're probably just for the DM, and. But there might, like, I don't know, like some organizations do have like a formal structure of like, yeah, you are you are an apostate, or you are a friend, or you are an initiate, or etc.
Right.
Well, and I think well, and he'll let us know. I think that this is a bit of that. It's working with the factions, trying to figure it out, trying to almost ingratiate with each faction or with different factions. To try to see, I don't know. I guess maybe I'm thinking, I don't know, long term. It's better to pick a faction.
I'm deciding right now just to hold on to it versus to immediately pass on to the Silver Order.
Yeah.
I'm not aware that you've put our names attached to the scepter, and so that unfortunately will not be a part of my decision making. As I will say, I'll hold on to it. I can use it. I can feel the magic. Divine. It's very comforting, and fire. It's very strong.
Can you hide it, please? We can't have people. I don't think that it is in our best interest for survival if individuals know that we have that.
Now, the DM said it was a staff, which means it's a little bit bigger than I was initially imagining.
Yeah.
It might be a little tough to hide.
I'm gonna wrap it in cloth.
DM, is this staff distinctive?
Oh yeah. It is very much distinctive.
I'm gonna wrap it up in my cape, and in such a way where I've created like an umbrella sheath for an umbrella, but the equivalent with an old green cloak that I have. At the very least, that'll stop the people who are looking at it and for it from going, "That's it," and
at least from a distance.
Right. I mean, people will wonder why is a quarterstaff covered, but
but their first thought, now that we're away from if we're away from the chapel, is probably not going to be like, I bet that's the staff of Saint Petruchio.
Right. No one's looking at a covered stick and going, "I bet you that's an artifact of a religious order that everyone wants."
At least once we get away from the location where it is thought to be.
Right.
Because now we're smuggling the Declaration of Independence out with a sheet over it.
Right.
Okay. So faction boons are essentially just a reward from the faction. Usually pretty faction specific. So like you would get, for example, it would be like an uncommon magic item, but the Queensmen are not going to have the same items as like the Silver Order.
Right. So they have access to cool different.
Right. You also might get. There are other things like the Silver Order is more of a militaristic group, so they would have access to more militaristic stuff. They probably have all of the mounts. They probably have all of those things, and so they have a little bit more sway with those things.
Well, it is just hard to get things in general without help.
Exactly. Yeah.
Right.
So those are kind of what defines a boon. As you go up in like essentially ranking with these factions. The boons that you get are a little bit higher tier. Not in like massive amounts. They're not going to give you like the scepter of Saint Vitruvio, right? But they're going to give you more stuff because they're like, hey, you need more stuff to survive and get our stuff done. So here's your stuff. Sometimes they'll give it to you beforehand. Sometimes they'll give it to you after, depending on how trustworthy they believe you are.
Okay, so actually, I just realized what the real issue is, right? More than anything else, if you decide to keep the scepter of Saint Vitruvio, the Silver Order will find out about that eventually. And the question is, how closely allied are we with them right now, right? So obviously, we are most aligned with their goals, right?
Right.
We are most interested in seeing them succeed. Would they see it as a betrayal if we kept this item? Like, is that a thing that would make them mad, or would they just fail to appreciate the fact that we did that?
I think there's a third option, and that is they would take it, one way or the other.
I mean, that's kind of rolled into because we don't want to make enemies of them, but we could probably survive being less friendly with them. So yeah, like, is this a betrayal, or would they just be like, or are we currently kind of mostly unaffiliated, where they are aware of us but don't consider us full members with obligations to them?
Oh, right. Yeah. No, I don't think any of us are. None of us are yet like totally affiliated with one. So there's not like an affiliation that we have to lose. I think of it as.
But if that is what we're shooting
for the future,
for, that would we'd be seeding a future conflict with people we probably want to avoid a conflict with.
That's what I think, and that's what Ryan. Yeah, that's what Ryan would think too. She's Silver Order. Most of these others are wackos. And Rye wants to continue trying to work with the Silver Order, again, because they feel like they're the most aligned with what she wants to do.
Yeah,
so,
I agree.
Yeah.
Maybe we do like a, I don't know, see if as we're turning it in, we can kind of lay the groundwork for maybe borrowing it at a future date if we feel like we might need it.
I agree with that. I think that would be,
yeah.
If we're capable enough to procure it and politically navigate two factions, if that's brought up, two enemy factions, then clearly we're intelligent, capable, crafty, and we brought people back from harm on top of all this. Like, this is a reputation that couldn't be better in the eyes of the Silver Order.
And we have really a giant shard of delirium.
They'd be rooting for us hard.
Honestly, what if we just kind of hang on to that shard of delirium for a moment? But like honestly, it wouldn't be the worst thing in the world if we headed over to the Amethyst Academy too. I understand the Silver Order is a better option in this situation, but you know, they don't deserve it, right? Like what have they done for us? And this is a big win for us, but I think they'll be just as impressed whether we give it to them or not. I don't know how the rest of you feel about the Amethyst Academy, honestly. I haven't talked about them much.
I haven't heard anyone say. I haven't heard anyone ever say anything nice about them until I met you.
Oh goodness, I appreciate that not coming up before now. Wow. Sorry, we've run into different social circles. So
I think that you have perhaps, or the Amethyst Academy is an echo chamber of self-proclaimed saviors of magic, and when they actually find themselves listening to the opinion of the people of the more mundane abilities, they find that there's a lot of doubt in the goals of the Amethyst Academy caring for the lowborn or the
Oh, there shouldn't be any doubt. They definitely don't. I mean,
well, that's the majority opinion you have to work with.
I feel like that's a little bit unfair. They're not.
No one's expecting them to do anything, but they're also
absolutely. I mean, they're certainly not, but
they're acting like they have.
Well, you know, I never dealt with the public relations side of things. I'm actually not super tuned into what the public presentation is. I assumed it was something closer to what the internal environment was, which was catty. But
It's more apathetic than that, I'm afraid.
okay. Well, that's good to know. I'll maybe stop proclaiming that affiliation at every opportunity.
He says wearing the robes.
And what's so funny is I will point out that's probably what every single Amethyst Academy wizard does, and that's probably the direct effect is what we're talking about.
Yeah, like somebody who introduces themselves.
I am government man. I come from the government. The government has sent me.
In the same breath as their name, they mention that they went to Princeton, and it's just like, I know you think this is impressive, but actually you like the vibe is rancid there.
Right. Yeah.
And
I'll always respond. The community college.
nice. There are also, I think, just personally, I have some concerns about what the Amethyst Academy wants to do with the delirium. From my understanding, they don't want anyone else to have it. They want all of it. And I have seen the harm that we have all seen, the harm that the delirium has caused and what it has created.
It makes sense that there should be some group of people that sequesters it to keep it out of dangerous hands, and that group of people does need to have some sort of expertise with handling it, right? So it needs to be some kind of it needs to have some kind of like institutional knowledge and norms.
And
it doesn't have to be the Amethyst Academy, but it should be something like the Amethyst Academy, I think.
If that is an option, which is not one that I personally agree with at all, oversight is important. You don't give it. I can't currently justify one group being in control of this whatever this power is. Yes, it has the power to drive magic. It probably has some wonderful properties that we don't know about. It also creates these monsters, and as long as that's happening, the city is worthless. There's virtually nothing that can be done here other than what we do. Go in, maybe find something, come back.
You would have oversight from whom, though? People without that expertise, right?
Delirium is the more dangerous and newer fire of our worlds. And I am not asking for there to be people in charge of lighting fires or not. I'm just asking for one group not to have the fire while others don't.
I mean, that's fair. The Amethyst Academy has a pretty good track record of not pursuing world domination. But yeah, it makes sense to not want concentrations of power like that. But delirium, at least as most understand it, isn't primarily a source of power. It's just a danger, right? It is in fact a source of power, but yeah, I think it's a danger first, and